Alright, hello, all you beautiful people. How's it going on this beautiful day? We are on part 5 of our Trails to Azure playthrough, and best of all, part 5 is looking like it's gonna be a really big one because it's gonna be the start of the crazy day. So like, um, there's a day, a specified day, the day of like the conference, the day where all the political powers gather together, with Orcus Tower, and apparently there's gonna be a all-out war that's gonna happen. People are gonna they're gonna there's people that are trying to murder certain other people, and everything's gonna go down. So that's all happening literally here on this day. So it's gonna be kind of insane to see how this one starts out and to see how it kind of ends up, because if something really does happen, it's kind of hard to see. It's gonna be kind of hard to get Crossbell in a good light again, because all of it happening in Crossbell is not a good view for Crossbell, as everyone already knows and they said throughout the story. So it should be kind of interesting. But anyways, let's just load it up. We're still on chapter 2. It should be the end. I forgot if there's any okay, we just have like support requests, and then we have like one urgent quest, which I forgot what the urgent quest wants us to do. Let's see here. Okay, it just wants us to go straight to Orcus Tower. Okay. So, before we do that, we can try to knock out as quick as we can these support requests. Starting with this one. Okay. Go to Crossbell Station. Okay. Crossbell Station. It's right here. I'll just walk there. We're gonna run in here. Here we are. Crossbell Station. The Republican inspection officer sent us the request. The request, right? Yeah. Let's see if we can find them. But I also did want to bring up. Right now, we're not on that specific day that I was just talking about, but we're kind of like wrapping up today because this has been kind of a long day. We've done like so many things on this one day, so I can't imagine that the day would last long. And so same with the chapter. I don't think the chapter is gonna last that much longer either. Anyways, we need train inspectors. So who's gonna be the one to help us? The attendant Lisa can shop. We can shop for crossbow times. Okay. Nah. Nope. Oh wait, this person right here. Would you kids happen to be the special support section? We are. We received your support request and came to inquire for more details. You're the station's Republican inspection officer, correct? That I am. My name is Marlowe, and I was transferred here from the Republican Army. I'd like to get started right away. Will you be accepting my request? Yes, help with inspections. Would be glad to lend a hand. Thank you. Allow me to explain what you'll be doing. It's rather simple. There's one task that you need to complete. You'll be assisting me with the inspections on a train bound for Calvert. You mean like checking the passengers' entry papers? The Imperial's inspection officer had us lend a hand with that once, so I think we can manage that. We just have to check to see if there are any suspicious persons or items on board, right? Precisely. Having experience will make this all go by more smoothly. Keep in mind that security is currently much stricter across the city due to the trade conference. Not only is our usual inspection process more rigorous, we're also obligated to cooperate with the police department. We simply don't have enough inspectors to handle the increased workload right now, hence my request. The train bound for Calvert is now arriving at platform 1. Please watch your step as you make your way to the platform. That's our train. I'll give you all the details once we're on the platform. Okay. Quest assisting the Republican inspector started. Let's see here. What do we got? Take a look at that. The red train. I've never even seen this side of the train station. The Eisengraph, a train exclusively used by the imperial government. Its magnificence is a symbol of the empire itself. There's certainly something imperial about it. That'd be because the blood and iron Chancellor came on that thing. That cocky bastard sure loves to stand out. It's damn impressive, I'll give it that. I'd hazard a guess that no mirror was spared building it either. Yes, and its impressiveness extends past its appearance. I heard it is currently the fastest orbital train in existence. Though I cannot be entirely certain since the exact specs are not publicly disclosed. That's impressive. I wouldn't expect any less from a nation with as vast as a railway infrastructure as Erebonia's. In that respect, no other nation on the continent rivals them. That much is clear. The Empire is often in a league of its own. I would like to explain the request. Are you ready? Sorry, we didn't mean to get distracted. Please continue. Very well. Like I mentioned before, I'd like your assistance with inspecting a train. You're to examine all the passengers' entry applications and luggage. Okay, we're doing this exact same support request that we did in Zero. Afterwards, you'll participate in the train's safety inspection. What kind of safety inspection? We'll get to it when the time comes. I'll give you a set of instructions to follow for various checks. I see there are 6 of you in total. I'll have you split into 3 pairs. I want 2 pairs to inspect the cabins and 1 to personally assist me. We're inspecting in pairs? We did it alone last time. During the inspection we did earlier this year, we all worked individually. Yeah, you see, we did one in Zero. Oh, that's right. You've done this before. For a typical inspection, 1 person would suffice. However, we need to be more thorough right now. The conference calls for stricter inspections, hence why you'll be working in pairs. Understood. I trust you to decide how you will split into pairs. You can even resort to rock, paper, scissors if you feel the need. Rock, paper, scissors? Yes, there isn't that great a need to put much thought behind the teams. Rather, I think the best course of action is to decide the teams as quickly as possible. I think I understand. In that case, we don't have any objections to deciding that way. It sounds like fun. So why not? How will we decide on who plays? I have an idea. Everyone will play simultaneously, and if 2 people play the same hand, they'll form a pair. Repeat this process until you've settled on your teams. You seem awfully familiar with this. I suppose that's true. Back when I worked in Calvert, we used this method to divvy up our work. It's a flexible concept that stuck-up Erebonian inspector refuses to use. I'm not sure I'd call that attitude flexible either. It likely boils down to the differences in their country cultures. Sure could be. Anyway, want to give it a whirl? Sounds good. Alright guys, let's give it a try. I'm gonna go paper. Rock, paper, scissors. Okay, we've got our teams. That makes Wazzy and I. Woo! Baby! We got the best teammate. Ellie and Tio, Randy and Nemo. This should be fun. Looks like you're all ready to go. I'm so happy. I'm pretty sure that depending on what you pick would actually depend on your lineup, but heck yeah, we got Wazzy. How do we divide up the work? I wouldn't mind our team helping Inspector Marlowe. I'm a CGF guardsman and have plenty of experience checking the freight trains that pass through Tangram Gate. Why didn't you say so sooner? I could use the help. Alright, let's get to our posts. I want the other two teams to split up the cabins. We've made the announcement already, so let everyone know you're assistant inspectors and you should be fine. Roger, sir. We got Wazzy. Yes, yes, yes. Alright, we're in charge of the last 2 cabins. Looks like we have a lot of passengers to inspect. I guess we have no choice but to inspect them and to check them individually. Excuse us, we're assistant inspectors. Sorry to trouble you, but may we see your entry papers and check your luggage? Oh my, I hope you're okay. Oh ma. Oh, I thought he was trying to say oh man. Oh ma, I hope you're okay. Someone isn't paying attention to their surroundings. Excuse me? I'm sorry about that. I was spacing out, wasn't I? You're the inspection officers, right? Please go right ahead. This will only take a moment. Okay, your luggage and papers are all checked. Thank you for your cooperation. No problem. Excuse me, we're assistant inspectors. Our apologies, but we're gonna have to check your entry papers and luggage. I see. Go right ahead. Good luck with your inspections. Thanks. We'll be done in a jiffy. Inspections. Nice. That's one inspection all wrapped up. Your luggage and entry papers are good to go. Thanks for your time. Not at all. It's only right that I let you guys do your job. Thank you. Bye-bye. It was nothing. Pardon us. We're assistant inspectors. Sorry for the trouble, but we'll need to inspect your luggage and entry papers. I've been waiting for you. Go right ahead. Do your worst. Okay. Looks like we've got a live one. Okay, I've checked your entry papers and all of your luggage. Thanks for cooperating. So did you notice? Eh? This folder's full of contracts. I'm in the middle of some big negotiations, and I can't wait to get these signed, sealed, and delivered. These bad boys are gonna make me a killing. Oh, I can't wait. Oh, how about that? I hope it goes well. So that's why he was acting so strangely. Hi there. We're assistant inspectors. Sorry for the inconvenience, but we need to check your luggage and entry papers. No inconvenience at all. Go ahead. Looks like no one gave us trouble, at least. Alright, I'm all done. Your papers and luggage are all check out. However, is something wrong? I never saw a boarding ticket while I was going through that luggage of yours. Why is that? You didn't see a ticket? No, that can't be. I'm sure I placed it in my bag. I can't find it. Where could it have gone? It's not in my pocket either. I'm so sorry, but could you wait just a moment? I'm sure I have the ticket somewhere in here. All right. We'll give you a minute and come back to you. Let's continue inspecting the others. We'll keep an eye on him and circle back. Well, he's probably going to be gone by the time we come back, I bet. Sorry to bother you. We're assistant inspectors. We're here to check your entry papers and luggage if that's alright with you. As if I have any other choice in the matter. Go ahead, just try to make it quick. Right, this won't take long. We're done checking your luggage, and your entry papers check out, too. Your entry papers check out too. Thank you for your cooperation. Whatever. As I said, it's not like I had a choice in the matter. Is that all then? Do me a favor and make yourself scarce. Of course. If you'll excuse us. So this is the kind of fun little inspections oh my god. So this kind of fun little interaction inspectors have, is it? How delightfully stressful. It's just as I heard. The Eisengraph is a marvel among all trains. She has a very unique character portrait. I've never seen this type of clothing or hairstyle on another character's sprite. Drool. I can hardly contain myself. Is she drooling? Pardon us. We're assistant inspectors. Can't you see I'm busy train watching? The papers are in the bag, so knock yourselves out. Okay then. Alright. We've finished checking your papers and luggage. Thanks for cooperating with us. Rumble. I wonder how much longer until we depart. I'm not ready to say goodbye to you. Off in her own little world. Good day. We're assistant inspectors. That outfit. Are they with Heiyu? Is there a problem? Is there a problem? We're assistant inspectors. I'm sorry to trouble you, but would it be alright if we checked your entry papers and luggage? But of course. We don't mind. Fine. Make it quick. Alright. I'm guessing the little one is connected to Heiyu. He sure has a mouth on him. I'm all done checking your luggage and papers. Thank you for your patience. Not at all. You're welcome. If you're done here, then you can take your leave. Right. That little boy is so mean. Excuse us. We're assistant inspectors. I'm sorry for the trouble, but we need to check your luggage and entry papers. Huh? What's the big deal? Why do you have to go through our stuff? Hey, knock it off. There's no need to be rude to the guy. Sorry about her. She can be a bit of a handful. Please forgive her for being such an idiot. Idiot? What do you get off? Some older brother you are. I can start, right? I don't see why not. Alright, we're all done inspecting your entry papers and luggage. Thank you for being patient. No, it's totally fine. If anything, I should be apologizing for what my sister put you through. What the hell? If anything, if anyone should be apologizing here, it should be me for how much of a stupid... Let's get the heck out of here. I think that's everyone. Almost. We still have to speak with the old man who lost his boarding ticket. Shall we head back to the 4th car? Right. Step back there immediately and check. Give me back my ticket! Lloyd! Yeah, let's go. I know it was one of you two. So who did it? Fess up already. Excuse me, what's going on here? Oh, it's the inspector from before. You got here just in time, Inspector. This old fart is accusing me of What did you just say? Old fart? Everyone, calm down. Hold your horses, people. Let's all take a deep breath and sort this one out one at a time. I have the full picture now. The ticket this gentleman purchased was for the 4th car and bound for Orid State. And these two gentlemen claim to have bought the same kind of ticket? Finally, you're accusing one of them of having stolen your ticket, hence why it is missing. Is that right? Yes, exactly. There's no doubt in my mind I had that ticket on me when I walked onto the train platform. I couldn't have lost it between there and here. That doesn't make sense. The only reasonable explanation is that one of them stole it. I understand why you think that, but we can't jump to that conclusion yet. I don't believe what he wants, I say. He's just a senile old man. How dare you, you little... That's enough. You need to settle down. We're not going to get anywhere if you keep hurling insults at one another. I have a simple question to ask the two of you who each have a ticket. What is the reason behind traveling to your destination? Business? Pleasure? We need to know that first. My reason? What does that have to do with anything? Are you going to prove my innocence with just that? Possibly, yes. If one of you is holding a stolen ticket, then your motivation for traveling would have to be fabricated, meaning the culprit could slip up and make themselves known. So that's your game. That'd be an interesting outcome. That's perfect. Well then, answer the lad's question. Very well. I'm a trader and I'm on my way to hold the very important negotiations in Orid State. I have the contracts right here. My client is already in business known as the Lucian Company. What reason would I have to steal a ticket from some senile old man? Alright. What about you, sir? My hometown is in Orid State. Is that enough of a reason to travel there? No one is saying it isn't. That didn't help much. We won't be able to come to a conclusion at this rate. So much for them slipping up. This might be the one case we can't crack. Right. Our only option may be to hand this over to Inspector Marlowe. We're gonna have to ask you to wait here. The Chief Inspector will sort this out. Thank you for doing what you could in there, everyone. It must have been difficult, especially with that argument over the ticket theft. Don't mention it. Is there any hope of identifying the thief? Yes, I believe so. We hold information regarding ticket purchasers specifically for instances like this. If we discover theft during an inspection, we can arrest the culprit at the next station. Good to know. What about the old guy who got robbed? He was in a hurry, so he did not mind buying a second ticket for now. Once the thief has been identified, he will be forced to reimburse the man. That older gentleman got unlucky, but it could have been worse. True. He may not have gotten immediate justice, but things should work out sooner rather than later. Very true. You feel okay about the work you did. Thank you once again for your help. Likewise, we're glad to hear we're of some use. We'd be happy to help again should you need it. I'm actually really happy that was a super fast and easy quest, because honestly, I was like, oh god, I'm gonna have to try to use my brain power to figure out who is possibly lying here, but nope. 4 DP, 1000 Mira, 79 total overall DP. Next quest. Oh, to go to Maria Bell. Okay, maybe this one's also quick. If this one's also quick, then that just pretty much is screaming at us, the player. Well, pretty much telling us that they just kind of want us to move along. They don't want us to dawdle on for too long on a bunch of different support requests that would take forever. Oh, I got it. I gotta get my card again. Thank you for coming, SSS. Must be here for Miss Croix's request, correct? Exactly. That's what we were just about to ask you about. Is it true that Belle's antique dolls have been stolen? Those would be the ones from the Rosenberg studio, would they not? Yes, you're both correct. Miss Croix has been horribly distraught ever since. I know this is on short notice, but could you please see her request now? Let's catch a thief. Of course. We'd be glad to help. Maria Bell has done so much for us that we could not refuse in good conscience. Oh, thank goodness. Here, first you'll need this card. You received the IBC ID card. What's this? It's an IBC identification, authentication card. We had one like this before. We'll be able to access other floors in the building from the elevator with it. In other words, it's part of the building security system? This isn't the largest bank on the continent for nothing. That card will give you access to the same floor as your previous one from Spring did. You'll find Miss Croix in the CEO's office on the 16th floor. So please head there. We will. Thanks, Lanfei. Alright, 16th floor. And she's in here. Oh, that's where her dolls are, so as you can see, they're gone. It's me, Belle. Please, come in. Excuse us. It's good to see you again, Belle. Hello, Ellie. Special support section. I heard you got back in town last night, Theo. How have you been? I am doing fine. Glad to hear it. As you know, the trade conference begins later today, so I know how busy you all are. I wish you luck this afternoon. Thanks, we'll do what we can. Are you not going to be heading to Orcus Tower yourself? That's right. I can't very well leave this pile of work my father left alone. He's on his own when it comes to handling all of his conference duties. So on that note, I think I owe you all an apology. Given you were all called in as security for the conference, perhaps I should not have requested you on such short notice. Don't worry about it, Maria Bell. You've helped the SSS out a lot, so this is the least we could do to pay you back. So, some of those antique dollies you have got hijacked, right? Mind giving us the skinny? But of course. As you should know, I've been an avid collector of Rosenberg dolls for years. I've been keeping a total of 5 of them in my personal room here at the IBC. However, someone took the opportunity to steal them last night while I was away on business. 5 Rosenberg dolls. That would mean that they must be worth a fortune. The larger ones fetch at least a few million mirror at auction. Yes, but this is not a matter of monetary loss. I'm a mother who's had her precious children kidnapped from her, and I want the despicable thief to be torn limb from limb in the middle of the harbor district. Easy now, Maria Bell. By personal room, you mean the one that's next door, right? That would mean the thief slipped past the IBC's world-class security. How is that possible? I thought that was strange too, and I have a perfect answer to your question. However, I'm also not surprised. Once I found out what was left at the crime scene, I understood perfectly how it happened. What was left behind? What do you mean? I think it would be faster to simply show you. Take a look at this. Oh my god. Oh, time to get the guide out. Wait, is this a calling card from Phantom Thief B? The worst character in the entire Trail series. Indeed it is. I'm gonna have to pull a guide out. I have to see what the name of this quest is. Indeed it is. The elusive thief that's stolen countless works of art from across the continent. Rumor has it he uses mysterious magic to steal his marks, and he always leaves his calling card at the scene. Infiltrating the IBC building is something only he could pull off. You all dealt with one of his thefts earlier this year, didn't you? You did? He stole the statue from the former City Hall building. In the end, we could not capture him. So he's back in Crossbell. Before we're getting into all kinds of crazy hijinks before we joined, weren't you? So, what does the card say? Allow me. Dear ladies and gentlemen of the special support section, the 5 young girls whom the young madam adores are in my compassionate custody. Should you desire their freedom, you must cast open each of their cages with the keys of truth. The first cage lies within the city. Search the throne of the constabulary's famed sentry. So, now you understand why I had no choice but to call all of you here? Yeah, this is a challenge from Phantom Thief B directly to the SSS. There's no other choice. You stole 5 priceless dolls for something this petty? This guy really is a nut job. Whatever his reason is, he didn't have to involve Maria Bell. We ain't overlooking this one. I wholeheartedly agree. Those Rosenberg dolls mean the world to you, Belle. Thank you, Ellie. I'll be counting on all of you. Before we begin the investigation, I want us to go over what the calling card says again. First, the 5 young girls part. We can chalk that up to the dolls themselves. Then the 5 cages would be 5 spots where we hid the dolls. In other words, we'll likely have to find the 5 locations that could be scattered anywhere. I can already see how difficult this is going to be. Yep. Yes. Luckily, we can limit the first one to the city at least. Apparently, it's at the throne of the constabulary's famed sentry. Anyone have any ideas? Famed sentry. I feel like I've heard of something along those lines recently. Anyways, let's not overthink it too much and get to searching the most logical spots. I'm expecting great things yet again, Special Support Section. I'll be waiting for you to bring my precious lost children home. We won't let you down, Maria Bell. I'll write the clue in the detective notebook for good measure. We can use this as our basis to begin the investigation. Quest, My Missing Collection, started. Alright, My Missing Collection, that's the name? Alright, let me get the guide out. Alright. Trails to Azure. My Missing Collection support request. Okay, and nothing comes up when I search that. Support request. I'm not getting anything coming up for this. I'm getting some weird Microsoft stuff. Okay, I have a guide pulled up here. Let's see how this one turns out. Okay, let's see. When you resume control. Let's see here. I'm looking for guides. I'm sorry. Search for missing collection. Okay, here we go. The very first one is actually in the SSS building in Sergey's desk. So, let's head out of here so I can fast travel over there. Sergey's desk, the famed sentry. Makes sense. Didn't we hear Chief Sergey's old nickname, Sergey, was Sergey the Sentinel? Would that mean that his desk and chair are the famed sentry's throne? It's worth a shot. Let's look around. There's something under his desk. Let me try taking it out. What the? Is that a trunk? Reminds me of it reminds me of the one Kia was in when you found at the Schwartz auction. I bet he's taunting us by making this the first location. Yeah, even threw the chief's old nickname into the mix. Anyways, let's check it out. card is affixed to the backside of the trunk. The second cage lies outside the city. Search the harvester's property, found off the ramshackle road. There's no mistaking it. This is a genuine Rosenberg doll. Yes, I've seen it once before. It's a doll named Cannon. I'm gonna say Cannon. That Belle loves dearly. She names her dolls? Even Maria Belle has a cute side, doesn't she? I'm a little surprised he'd bother keeping something he stole in a trunk like this, though. Phantom Thief B's supposed to have some kind of deep reverence for beauty, right? Maybe it's his way of showing respect. As for the second card, it sounds like we're gonna have to explore outside of the city limits this time. Sheesh. We're gonna be running around the whole damn state at this rate. Our hints are the harvester's property and off the ramshackle road. Given the connotation, it must be somewhere that's polar opposite of a modern place like Crossbell City. It sounds like the right track. Let's take the first dolly with us and get to looking for the second. Yeah, let's go. Alright, we got the doll, the first one. This one's a little bit easier to figure out, but this is actually over at Armorica. But, whoops, not this way. But the, it's, an old Armorica road, so it's on the shed. So we want to go to the fork. There's a small shed on the private property area. Okay. Are we capable of taking these enemies? No. Not yet. Theo got completely new voice lines. Oh my god. I know we're gonna hit it eventually. There we go. It wasn't hitting us for much, so I didn't really bother getting hit. Didn't really care about getting hit much, I mean. I think it's that right there. The gate is open. As I recall, this property is owned by the Armorica village and isn't normally open to the public. Perhaps they left it unlocked. Surely not on purpose, right? Either way, check it out. Monsters wandered in again. Watch your step while we're looking around. Aye aye, Captain. Alright, well, let's fight the new enemies. Everyone shows up on the screen now. When we on the results screen. She froze the enemy. Nice. Okay, the XP isn't too bad. Team Rush. Oh yeah, we gotta see Teo's character portrait. Alright, we got a monster chest here, so let me save. Monsters appeared! Luckily it was one that we can actually fight. Oh, combo craft for Teo? We do have one still, okay good. Because of Teo's amazing range, I can hit all of these. Yeah, let's do it. I've never seen Omega Strike 2. Oh, there's our character portrait. We defeated all 6. Awesome. They explode. We gotta be careful about that. Oh yeah, we gotta check out Teo's stuff. No, we got Teo into the party, but I never really checked on what she had. Septium Vein, awesome. Did you hear about the time Phantom Thief B broke into Orange Shield? I'm told he stole the spotlight. At this point, I don't need that. Yeah, increase the Sepif drop. Okay, so Teo, let's take a look at Teo. She still has Ether Buster, as her, you know, weaker S craft at the moment. But she still has, oh no, no, this is the, Ether Buster's better. Zero Field is the one that's, that I didn't really like it too much. But now it's full screen. I don't think it was full screen before, so I think it got a buff. But it's a support max guard full screen. So pretty much, it protects all allies from one attack. But if you have 200 CP, then it actually protects you from 2 attacks. It's pretty much Kevin's S. It's pretty much Kevin's S craft, literally. She also has C protection, which is a support medium ranged AoE HP regeneration craft guard. So extends an orbital barrier and healing field over an area. Okay, that's new. I've never heard of craft guard before. I have to test that one out. But there's also, but obviously, this is for support crafts, meaning I actually use Theo, so this is not gonna you know, be the greatest idea to have on. Also, let me check something real quick. Okay, my restream was bugging out. Why did my restream crash? Okay, I thought for a minute I lost internet. I was about to be disappointed. Okay. But she still has Code Gehenna, so it's a freeze 50%, large range AoE with Ellie. We just did Omega Strike 2 with Lloyd, and there's also Hawk and Storm with Randy. They're both long range with no abilities tied to them. She still has Analyze, which is great. It's a support skill. It's more like a debuff / support. But it's Analyze, which is the greatest part because now I don't have to pay for or use items or even use arts to see what an opponent's weak to. Now we can analyze, so we can see what an enemy is weak and strong against when it comes to arts, and also it debuffs the enemy by 25% on their defense and arts defense. That's pretty good. Magic attack. I wonder if that's gonna get a buff, because you know most crafts get buffs into their their level 2 forms. Like Beam's Amber here, for an example. This is now a medium ranged AoE that deals arts defense 25% down on the enemy. It never did arts defense 25% as a debuff before. You can summon Zeit. There's an energy circle recovery, so medium range HP recovery that cures your ailments and stat downs. And then finally you have Absolute Zero, which was broken before. Looks like it got a massive nerf. Absolute Zero got a massive nerf. Holy crap. It's now a set magic attack, small range now, but also it's only a 25% chance to freeze. So that's a massive nerf. It no longer is a 100% chance. So Tio got a nerf. There's some characters that got nerfs, like Lloyd got nerfed, because Burning Heart got nerfed. You know, it's a lot of characters, obviously they realized some things were broken in the previous game, like Burning Heart and Absolute Zero as an example. But then they were like, oh yeah, we gotta kind of, nerf them, but we also gotta buff all their skills up, so, they're gonna get stronger, but Absolute Zero was broken, so I'm kind of sad about that one. Did you hear? Oh yeah, I read that. So let's take a fight to this enemy. But yeah, the SSS is all back together. Celestial Bomb. Great. Right after I finally got new stock from Mr. Hayworth too. Dang, a Celestial Bomb is what you're getting from Mr. Hayworth? I might have to go meet with Mr. Hayworth a bit. There's the doll, but let me go ahead and fight this enemy for the XP and Sepith from this, because there's 4 enemies especially, so. Alright. The second trunk was here of all places. The harvester's property and off the ramshackle road. As I recall, Chief Tota said the village uses this place as a storehouse for materials. So it must have been Phantom Thief B who opened the gate without permission. He stirs up trouble wherever he goes, doesn't he? Anyway, let's take a look. A card is affixed to the backside of the trunk. The third cage lies outside the city. Find where one stands with their back, bathed in goddess shining visage. Bell calls this doll light? I don't know. Okay, I am back. So, this might look weird on the people that view this maybe later, like on YouTube or something like that. But, for those who are on the Twitch, welcome back. There was some weird, extremely weird, like massive bitrate, 7.5 minute delay that occurred at the very end of the last stream. Luckily, I caught it fast. Otherwise, that entire stream could have just been gone to the wind or something. But, hopefully, everything's good now. From the looks of it, it looks possibly fine. Let me see. It looks fine. Let me just do another refresher just to make sure that everything is working fine. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, here we are. I'm gonna pretty much, in case you are viewing this from the like YouTube side or seeing this later on through like a VOD on Twitch, just a quick refresher. Nothing was missed. I picked up the doll from the other side, over at Old America Road, and we're pretty much continuing onward to getting the next doll, which is actually in the cathedral. So that's what we're doing right now. So hopefully there's going to be no more problems with the stream, and we can just continue. But the next doll location is to go to. We're actually on the wrong side completely. We're supposed to be coming out the residential district side. We can just run there. It's fine. I'm right here. We gotta go to the Crossbell Cathedral, and we gotta speak to Father Eralda. I don't know who that might be. I'm guessing it's the main guy on the top here. Yes. Welcome. Do you need something from me? If it's a sermon you're after, I can make time for you. Sorry, that's not why we're here today. Phantom Thief's B card mentioned the goddess shining visage. Maybe that was referring to like the stained glass window here, which would make the 1 in the clue. I don't understand what's happening right now. If you have business with me, please state it clearly. Sorry, sir. Archbishop Aralda, could you do us a favor and check under the altar? Why would I do that? Settle down. We aren't doing anything suspicious. The SSS explained their mission, and Archbishop Aralda searched under the altar. There it is! A card is affixed to the back side of the trunk. The fourth cage lies outside the city. Find the road of iron that snakes under the skirt of the western ramparts. This must be Miss Dell. Belle loves this one. That brings up to $3. That brings us up to $3. When does something like this get put here? I do leave for business on occasion, but not long enough for someone to do this. The goddess works in mysterious ways? This clue is as perplexing as the rest. If we interpret the ramparts to be some sort of defensive structure, and include the western part in that, we get the defensive structure in the west. That's one interpretation, at least. There's also the road of iron that snakes under the skirt. I'm not really sure what that means. Perhaps this is another figure of speech. That's a safe assumption. Alright, let's take this trunk with us and begin our search for the next one. Phantom Thief B. I've heard of his exploits before. He sounds like quite the scoundrel. As the man of the goddess above, I could never support someone like him. Officers, please bring this evildoer to justice. We'll do our best. We got Rosenberg doll M. So next location is to go to Belgard Gate, hidden on the railway tracks, left side of the Belgard Gate, near some storage crates. All right. Belgard Gate. All right, let's look for that. That is from West Crossbell Highway area. Okay. Dun 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 dun. West Crossbell Highway area, huh? Go to Belgard Gate. Left the railway tracks. I don't think we can go down there. There's some storage crates, huh? Can we go down there? Let me see. What did the guide say was that again? On the railway tracks. Tracks. Why did I say twacks? Left side of Belgard Gate, near some storage crates. Okay. I'm guessing there's a way to go down to the tracks from here. Yes, okay. I wonder if this is a new section for Zero. I mean for Azure, because I don't remember being able to go down here in Zero at all. My God, a long way to get over here. On the tracks itself, holy crap. It said left side, so near some storage crates, huh? Here we are. How did this get here? The clue on the card said the road of the iron that snakes under the skirt of the western ramparts. So the iron road is on the freight line and the rampart is the Belgard Gate. We probably shouldn't open the trunk here. How about we move on to the platform? Right. Let's carry it carefully. Yeah, that's a good idea, Wazzy. Ooh, that one's actually really pretty. A card is affixed to the backside of the trunk. The final cage lies within the city. In the soaring tower, descend from the summit of 16 by 21 steps and go to the vista of otherworldly windows. This is Belle's doll. Sharon, I'm sure of it. We're 4 out of 5, right? All that remains is the final doll mentioned on the card. A soaring tower in the city. It has to be talking about a tall building, right? Would that be Orcus Tower? I believe Orcus Tower has 40 floors above the ground. But if the summit is at 16, then maybe it's talking about somewhere else? And how can you describe by 21 from 16? That's probably the key to the key to the riddle. There's also the bit about the vista of otherworldly windows. We should consider that as well. Yet again, it's some sort of metaphor. Go look around the city and think about the clue. Oh, she didn't mention the name of that doll, did she? Oh, Sharon. Okay. Okay, this one, the very last one is it's in the IBC building itself. It's in the IBC building. And it's actually on the basement 5th floor with all the terminals. Near the, yeah, right here. There it is! The final trunk! In the soaring tower, descend from the summer of 16 by 21 steps and go to the vista of otherworldly windows. My question is, before I keep reading this, my question is, how did no one here notice? It's so bad. Like, how did there's 2 people working here. You're not telling me none of them came through here. None of them came in this direction at all. They spent their entire time over there. And also Blue Blanc must have hid them while they were here. You know, while they were here, because if, like, let's say he hid them at night, then that would mean that they walked and saw this and just kept on doing their work. Oh my God. Maybe they'll say something about it. If you descend from the 16th floor of the IBC building to the fifth basement floor, there's a difference of 21 total floors. Then the vista of otherworldly windows, that must refer to these terminal monitors that track data from the orbital network. This is the only place that makes sense. Let's take a look inside. This is Belle's favorite doll, Alice. Looks like an Alice. There isn't a card on the back like usual. This must be the end of our scavenger hunt. And that's the end of that. Well, it would be the end because that's the last doll. That was exhausting. Huh? What's up? Is something wrong? There was an alert indicating some new orbital mail came in. Wait, is that Mistress's doll? Yeah, it was sitting right here. How did you guys not see it? Exactly, Lloyd. Bring up the good questions. I'm more concerned about the timing of that orbital mail. May I take a look? Go ahead, but the way you say that sounds ominous. Click, clack, click, clack. What's going on, Tio? The sender is Phantom Thief B. What? Phantom Thief B? You've got to be kidding me. Where in the world could he have sent that from? Would you mind opening it, Tio? Roger. From Phantom Thief B. Subject: to the lovely ladies and gentlemen of the Special Support Section. First, allow me to express my gratitude for having entertained me thus far. Next, my sincerest apology to the doll's owner, Miss Maria Crossbell. Miss Maria Croy, not Maria Crossbell. Maria Bell Croy. And the creator, Meister Jorg, for my being oh so impolite. However, rest assured that I took the utmost care to not damage these beautiful works of art while they were in my care. Now I will be excusing myself from these lands before long. Thank you once again and farewell. Special Support Section. Enforcer number 10 of the Society of Ouroboros, the Phantom Thief Blue Blanc, looks forward to your continued growth and prays that the goddess grants you luck. That was bad. I read that bad, but whatever. P.S. This orb mail will be automatically deleted and be impossible to be saved or tracked. Phantom Thief B. Wait, is he serious? He's resourceful, I'll give him that. Who'd have thought that everyone's Phantom Thief was actually an enforcer for Ouroboros? That's right. He hinted at being friends with Ren before, didn't he? Tio, is it really impossible to track where that mail came from? Yeah. Surely there must be some sort of clue we can glean from. Click, clack, click, clack. I've been trying, but it has not been going well. The mail source data has started deleting itself the second we opened it. Fortunately, it has not affected the terminals. However, recovery is likely impossible. Well, shoot. Burglar Boy really did cover all his bases. Seeing all this reminds me, we also know diddly squat about the hacker that trapped us in the geofront yesterday. Good point. Whoever was responsible has a vast amount of technology at their disposal, and they know how to use it. I'm not sure I fully get what's happening right now. Clay, we have to verify that this breach didn't have an impact on any of our data. Oh yeah, he could have left a virus on our systems. Sure, sorry guys, we need to get back to work. Oh, at the end of the day, we did manage to recover all the Rosenberg dolls. Let's go return them to Maria Bell. I agree. Now I understand what happened. Still, it is a shock to hear that the legendary Phantom Thief B is a member of Ouroboros. If that's true, it's no wonder he's eluded for capture as long as he has. However, in the event he is ever so captured, I'll march into his jail cell and carry out the execution myself. I think I just peed myself a little. I'm sorry, Maria Bell. We wanted to capture him just as much as you did. We'll have to settle for simply returning your dolls. The SSS handed over 5 trunks holding Rosenberg dolls to Maria Bell. Welcome home, Alice, Cannon, Light, and Mistel, and Sharon. Very well. I have no complaints or further comments at this time. All that matters is that my precious Rosenberg dolls have come home safe and sound. And a long trip home at that. Phantom Thief B is nothing if not thorough. We went through the trouble of putting them in sturdy trunks and scattering them in safe locations around the state. That is a lot of work now that you mention it. They would have been better off had he had not stolen them in the first place. Yeah, there's that too. Clearly we have to make further improvements to our security to ensure that this never happens again. I'm going to have our security department working harder than they ever have been before. They could learn a thing or two from the SSS. You were all a great help. Don't even mention it, Belle. That's what friends are for. Wait, last time this happened... No, it couldn't be. Is something wrong, Lloyd? Why are you looking at me like that? Let me explain. The first Phantom Thief B case we solved ended with him disguising himself as the client. Holy smokes, I forgot all about that. Are you implying... Let me be more direct. Are you the real Maria Belcro... Hey! Oh, come now, Lloyd. Where do you get off by being so rude in my office after I went out of my way to thank you? I'm sorry. There's no mistaking it. This is the real Maria Bell. Oh, Lloyd. Just look at how casual their friendship is. Afterwards, Lloyd and the others went to the first floor and returned their authorization card to the reception desk. Quest, my missing collection, has been completed. Awesome. Time to report. That is 5 DP, 1,500 mirror, 84 total overall DP. Let me go rest up. I just gained that tiny bit of HP for like Tio and Randy. And the very last support request is a monster extermination on Ursula Road. Okay. Ursula Road, okay. So let's see if we can find this guy. Oh my gosh. Well, I was trying to see if we could get, you know, one-shot it on the field. No. If they're gonna give me 1 XP, there's not really a point in fighting them. The ferocious monster is not here. Clear gelatin. Not over here. Not here. Oh my gosh. And of course there's 4 of them, you know? This is a good chance to use Raging Spin. Nice. I'm gonna hit that one. It's a pretty good support. I remember what Craft Guard is. I said that I did not know what that really meant and what that entailed, but now I remember what Craft Guard is. Oh my gosh. Touch the formation. That's a ambush, I guess. Maybe the ferocious monster is in here. There's no way. Yeah, I didn't think so. Oh wait, it's a 0% chance. Why am I trying to run? Okay, I almost accidentally ran into that guy myself. Has to be around here. Has to be. Not yet. It has to. Okay, it has to be here. We're running out of Ursula Road to travel. We're running out of road on Ursula Road. I should have left that one alone, but it's fine. Luckily, he was able to take him down from that HP pool. Okay, they run away, thank goodness. Come on. The enemy ran away? Awesome. Where is this ferocious monster? I'm literally at the college. What? There's a ferocious monster called Big Drome on Ursula Road. I didn't see any of that. Oh my god, what could I have done there? I really did not see any. I'm also trying to do my best to not touch the enemies, but I am failing miserably at that. Gosh, don't. That formation ambush stuff really just gets under me. It's just. I just don't like it. I gotta check a bit more thoroughly. I don't think it's down there. I'm pretty sure I checked that one very well. Big Drome, huh? Randy, come on. Where is Big Drome? I'm literally back at the very beginning of Ursula Road here now. I found Steel Wrist. I don't remember that being anything decent. Prevents faint, yeah, nothing crazy. Oh my god, I ran right into the fishes. And why did the fishes get to go? Why did they get to go first? That's interesting. The fishes are that fast? I'm really not finding this monster. I hope you guys can see why I don't like that that mechanic. I literally just went through the entirety of Ursula Road again. Maybe it's on the Stargazer's Tower section, but I don't think that's Ursula Road anymore. Is it? I'm not sure. If I find it here, then it is. It might just be, though. It is here. Let me have Tio heal us up. Alright, let's do this. I want to do it with... I want Tio here. So... We got a good full score. All of them. We get all of them with Tio, so... And then I get another S-Craft with Lloyd here. I'm gonna do it with these. These 4. Doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo-doo. I'm gonna Spark Dine this one. They have recovery spells, but it's not even much. I love how it's called Super Recovery, but only it does 285. Like, that's not much at all. Okay. I should be... Yeah, I'll do this. It's a crit, so why not? And besides, Ellie gets her S-Craft literally if she gets hit 1 time. And this is gonna... Oh, there you go, she got it. Can I beam Zamber? Yes. Nice. Exterminated the monsters on Ursula Road. Found craft book Akasha. Look, a craft book. At a glance, the contents appear to fit Ellie and Wazi's style. Would you give it a try, Wazi? But of course. Ellie and Wazi learned Akashic Star by spending 100 CP. Yeah, we know that part. Okay. These support. I like these sport requests. These 3 sport requests. Well, not the Phantom Thief Blue Blanc one. I don't like that one. But I like the other sport request, and I like this one. I always like the monster exterminations, primarily because they're so quick and so easy. Like, I can just continue the main story super fast thanks to them being super short and easy. 4 DP, 1,500 mirror, 88 total overall DP. So all of our support requests are done. We can now continue the main quest, but let me first rest up in the bed. Get our HPs and EPs back, and we're gonna go to Orcus Tower. I could see the tower clearly from my airship before I landed at the airport. It is even grander after seeing it up close. That's exactly how we felt yesterday. It's only been a day and it already feels like Crossbell has a new landmark. Yeah, but don't you think it's a little too big? What are they going to use all those floors for? It's not like the old City Hall building was too small or something. True, but the tower is going to house several other facilities. In addition to housing the administrations of the city and state, there are floors dedicated to international trade and cultural exchange. The aim was to make it the center of the Western Zamoria itself. Dang, talk about shooting for the moon. It makes sense when you think about it. That's why the first major event it's hosting is its trade conference. Don't forget the building's opening means even more international capital is going to be flowing into Crossbell. That'll be a handy bargaining chip when they're discussing new trade agreements, right? Yes, from what I've heard, though it may not be limited to just financial talks. Well, what do you all want to do? We're scheduled to meet Dudley on the first floor at noon. Of course, but we do still have some time before then. How about we take care of any unfinished business and prep work before we head in? We don't want to be in a bind if it hits the fan this afternoon. Good point. It's not like we'll be able to go anywhere once the conference is underway. Oh, is that day today? Maybe I just could not remember. Then let us not go in until we have taken care of any unfinished business and made our preparations. Oh, we're already ready. Let me save, by the way. We're scheduled to meet Dudley on the first floor at noon. There's still a little bit of time, but should we head in now? Upon entering Orcus Tower, you will be unable to buy new equipment and items or upgrade your orbments. Additionally, all remaining quests that are open will close. Proceed with caution. Enter the tower. Wow, take a look at it. It's a nice blend of modern and luxurious. This feels even more futuristic than the IBC building. Every floor is wired to the orbital network as well. There's also a direct line to the IBC for instant updates on the stock market prices. I heard about that. Uncle insisted upon it. Figures, he still has banking on the brain even when he's a salesman. All that's left for us to do is to wait for Dudley to come pick us up. There are no visitors due to the conference, so why don't we grab that sofa over there? The same day, 12 p.m. Here you are. Hey Dudley, good to see you again. It's noon sharp. The trade conference begins at 1 p.m. The dignitaries will be arriving in 30 minutes. Got it. Where should we be going right now? I would have preferred to familiarize you with the venue myself, but there has been a change of plans. I came to tell you that someone else will be showing you around. Someone else? Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming today. It's Dieter Croy, Mayor Croyce. Uncle. It's only been a couple of weeks, Ellie, Lloyd. Hello to you too, Wazzy and Noel. Ah, and it's been far longer since I've seen you, Randy and T.O. Welcome back. Appreciate it. It is good to see you again. Yes, but what are you doing here? The conference starts in less than an hour. Aren't there more urgent things you should be doing? Nonsense. Preparations are more or less done. We're simply waiting for the dignitaries to arrive now. I thought showing you around the building would make for a good break. Is that alright with you, Dudley? You're lucky he's the mayor. See to it that you pay attention and don't do anything to embarrass yourselves in front of him. Once you're done, come to the security command room on the 34th floor. Understood. You can take it from here, Mr. Mayor. See you all soon. You have my gratitude. He's a talented detective, but a little inflexible, isn't he? Though perhaps that's what makes him good at his job. The First Division does have a reputation for doing things by the book, after all. Ah, where are my manners? I forgot the most important step for starting a tour. Ladies and gentlemen of the SSS, welcome to Orcus Tower. Follow me if you would. Same as ever. Yes, and Maria Bell's apple did not fall far from his tree. Maybe. But isn't it nice of him to show us around before the conference oh my god, let me read this again. Maybe. But isn't it nice of him to show us around before the conference personally? It sure is. Let's take him up on his offer. Alright. There are 3 elevators? Now you're just showing off. Well, the building is 40 stories tall. And just for the record, there are actually 6 elevators if you count the private ones. That's impressive. Keep in mind, we don't have time today to visit every floor. We'll sadly have to keep things to those related to the conference. Without further ado, let's start by saying where the security command room is on the 34th floor, shall we? After you. I see. I heard the same from Dudley. It's quite a tricky situation we find ourselves in. Yeah. The Jaegers in Heyu are a cause for concern. Whatever the Imperial and Republican governments are up to is worth keeping in mind too. On top of that, there are terrorists aiming to take the lives of 2 heads of state. Not to mention the mystery hacker from yesterday. Are you aware they were able to steal the tower's blueprint from one of your terminals? Yes, sadly. I heard it was one of the Orcus Tower sub-terminals that was hacked into. After the IBC was hacked months ago, I had our systems department boost their anti-hacking countermeasures too. It clearly wasn't enough. When you think about it, hacking is still a rare skill to have. Yep, the most logical explanation wait, what? The most logical explanation is it was someone. Okay, that just sounds off to me. The most logical explanation is it was someone who had ties to the Epstein Foundation. Chief Roberts is currently looking into that possibility. Though my intuition is telling me that it's not the case this time. No matter. All we can do is wait for the results of his investigation. A Jaeger Corps, a crime syndicate, and the threat of terrorists coming. There's plenty to worry about already. What's most troublesome, however, are the motives of some of our esteemed dignitaries. You mean some of the leaders are from the conference? You mean what some of the leaders are after from the conference? You saying you're suspicious of the people you invited? I don't suspect Princess Claudia or Prince Oliver don't mind. Oh my god. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm doing a really bad job of reading today. I don't suspect Princess Claudia or Prince Oliver, mind you. I also trust Grand Prince Remiferia, Chancellor Osborne, and President Rocksmith for another matter entirely. The leaders of the two major powers. They have the most to gain by controlling Crossbell's future. Have they already tipped their hands on that front already? Quite the opposite, actually. We already sent several preliminary proposals to each country ahead of the conference. Both sides have been suspiciously favorable to everything we suggested thus far. The way they're behaving, you would think that those two are all for equitable growth in Western Zamoria. That seems unlikely, to say the least. The Empire and the Republic tend to clash over even the smallest of issues. Correct. How they're acting right now makes me more uncertain about what could happen at the conference. I've already prepared for the worst case scenario. That seems wise. So on top of all the immediate danger, we're stuck in a political trap too. Times like this are when I'm glad to have Speaker McDowell to lean on. If we play our cards right, we should also have the support of Liberal and Remiferia during these negotiations. And I'm not preparing for the worst. I'll also be praying that Adios is in the corner too. Uncle. It's hard to believe you have even more on your plate today than I realized. Sorry to take up your time with this tour. Don't mention it. On the contrary, I'm relishing the opportunity for a nice change of pace. That's why I insisted that I be the one to show all of you around. Well, when you put it that way, it will be your honor, Mr. Mayor. Heck yeah, we're down if you are. That's what I like to hear. Good timing. Here we are. 34th floor, event staff floor. Whoa. Amazing. Looks like the very last few floors, they have windows for them. Wow. It is quite the view. Get a load of it. I'm glad you all find it as satisfying as I do. This is the 34th floor where much of the staff will be on standby during the trade conference. Are you ready to have a look around? Lead the way, Mr. Mayor. Here we have the security command room. Next door is the press room. There will be a company of guardsmen from the CGF on the floor below if we need them in the case of an emergency. Yeah, I heard they'd be here. I bet they're gonna send the best of the best that the CGF has to offer. I guess the press room is where Grace will be spending all of her time. You mean that reporter from the Crossbell Times? That's right. I believe I saw her name on the list, so she should be there. Bear in mind, the press aren't permitted to leave this floor except during the press conference or for scheduled interviews. That makes sense. It's necessary. Reporters can occasionally get a little pushy for interviews during events like this. Some even slip past security. Grace does that regardless of how big the event is. I can already picture us dragging her away from somewhere she's not supposed to be. I thought for a minute the door was going to open and Grace was going to be there. Here, I'll show you this room just in case. This is more my kind of place. It looks like a break room, but it's also spacious. Precisely. This is the break room I had prepared for the conference. Feel free to use it yourselves during your downtime. Thanks. We'll be sure to. We could always stop by for tea later. Let's head for the next floor, shall we? Is this an emergency stairwell? Looks like the ones going down are sealed off, though. Normally, you'd be able to descend the stairs all the way to the first floor using these stairs. Oh my god. Normally, you'd be able to descend all the way to the first floor using these stairs. However, we sealed them off in preparation for the conference. Only the stairs between 34, 35, and the 36 floors will be open. In other words, it's a security measure. What do people do if something like an earthquake occurs? In the event of an emergency, the gates to the stairwell will open automatically. Which just goes to show that no security plan is foolproof. Not when we have to account for the unexpected. My question is this, hold on, real quick on the side. My question is this. Why are we able to see past here? Or maybe the stairs go down from that side. I was about to say, where are the stairs going down? If we can see the other side. But that it would make sense that you would go over here and you go down the stairs here. But why all this empty space then? There has to be nothing over here. If this is sealed off, then that means this is just a blank area that just goes down into the stairs over here. And then underneath to the 33rd floor. That's weird that's extremely weird design, but okay. True. We'll do our part to cover any possible gaps. Hacking countermeasures must also figure into that. Since we're here, why don't we take the stairs? Next stop, the 35th floor, home to the International Conference Room. Yeah, look, it's just a blank. That's just extra room for nothing. And extra time you have to walk. 35th floor, International Conference Floor. Look there. This would be... That's right. Before you is the stage where the continent's leader will seek the elusive dream. That is diplomacy. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the conference room. It's incredible. I have never seen anything like it. If this room's ceiling is that high, you must have removed part of the next floor up. As it so happens, the 36th floor was designed to be a U-shape to accommodate the conference room. The rooms next door to the conference room will house the staff to all the dignitaries. Their personal security detail will also be on standby there. That's smart. Had to stick them somewhere to appease all of your guests. Look, let's move to the final floor of our tour, shall we? This floor is where we'll have rooms prepared for the dignitaries that will be participating in the conference. Allow me to show you around. After you. Okay, looks nice here. I like the way the hallway looks. Ooh, very nice rooms actually. Whoa, check this place out. Talk about extravagant. If you gave me a room like this, I don't think I'd want to leave it. This one will be Prince Oliver's waiting room. There are rooms in the west wing as well. The west wing as well. That sounds weird for me to say. I feel like there's an R in there, but there's not. One assigned for each visiting participant. They double as places we can all go to cool our heads if things get too heated during the conference. That makes sense. Are these rooms connected to the Orbo security system too? That's right. We had them inconspicuously wired to the security network. Let's put the other rooms aside for now, because there's one final place I'd like to show you. Good morning, Mayor Croy. Good to see you today, sir. At ease, gentlemen. From these windows, you'll be able to get a full view of the conference as it's in progress. There are curtains to make things private, should a confidential meeting happen, but they'll be open this time. Good to know. We'll be able to get a sneak peek at how the conference is going while doing our rounds. That's right. And if anything were to happen, we'd see it and could rush there right away. Good point. We should make this a routine stop on our patrol route then. Well then, you've seen all 3 floors that will be part of your security detail. However, if you'll allow me, there's one more place I've been saving for last. A place you were saving? And where could that be? Isn't it obvious? The spot with the best view of all. You mean the roof? Yep, I think so. Whoa! Look at that. It's incredible. Yep, the roof. Look at that. I love how it's just a square. A squared pictured landscape. It's breathtaking. Positively. The rest of the city looks tiny from this far up. Dang, I wish this shindig was after dark. I bet the view at night is insane. This little area will eventually become a viewing platform for the public. I couldn't restrict the roof to only government officials in good faith. I'm sure people will love it. I can't wait for us to take Kia here too. Oh, pardon me. It's me. Of course. Got it. I'll be there right away. I just received word from the dignitaries I just received word that the dignitaries have arrived at the tower. Forgive me, ladies and gentlemen. I'll have to take my leave here. Not at all. Thank you for showing us around. We appreciated it. Oh boy, did we. That was awesome. That was the tour of a lifetime. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and thank you as well for giving me the change of pace I needed. I'll see you all later. Good luck with your security duties and give it all you've got. We won't let you down. It's the least I could do to pay you back for that letter of recommendation. Adios be with you. I'll be praying for the success of the conference. So will I. Alright, let's make our way back to where Dudley is. He should be in the security command room on the 34th floor right now. Now the real work begins. I hope this goes smoothly. I hope so too. The same day, 1 p.m. Alright, give me 1 second, guys, before I continue. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a little snack because I'm actually really, really hungry right now. I ate before the stream, but for some reason my stomach is kind of killing me, and I don't want to kind of do like a, end the stream earlier than normal, so I'm just gonna grab a snack and once again refill my cup of water just to have it refilled. But anyways, give me like a quick 2 minutes. I'll be right back. Alright, I am back. Alright, let's continue. We will now commence the main session of the West Zamoria Trade Conference. Alright, this is where things are going to get really, really important, so let's pay attention to everything that goes down. If I may be so bold, I, Henry McDowell, will begin our proceedings. The conference is scheduled to run for approximately 5 hours with an intermission. However, depending on how deliberations are progressing, there may be short extensions. I would like to introduce you to two observers that will be joining us for the conference. Lawyer Ian Grimwood. He is a legal expert who is active not only in Crossbell but in neighboring countries as well. I requested that he attend today's conference due to his familiarity with common and international law. It's a pleasure to be here, everyone. I am Ian Grimwood at your service. Ah, so this must be Crossbell's famous Grizzly Grim. Yes, I've heard of you as well. They say you're primarily concerned with matters surrounding civil rights. It's nice to meet you. You flatter me. I promise to give you all my very best today. Next, Bracer Arios McLean. You may know his name from his many outstanding achievements in our neighboring countries. I requested he too attend as a natural observer of the Bracer Guild to further ensure everyone's safety here today. That is correct. I'm Arios McLean. Pleased to meet you. So this is the divine blade of wind. The speaker assumes right. I've heard your name spoken many times, even in the Republic. Your name reaches even in the imperial capital as well. They said that there's a divine blade bringing justice in Crossbell like wind sweeping across the land. I'm honored. Without further ado, we will begin by going over each proposal on today's docket. Mayor Dieter Croy is our first proponent. Please outline your proposal. Of course. Let's start by looking over the first bill and the materials provided to you. It started. Yeah, I knew Arios was going to be here, but I had no idea Mr. Grimwood was going to play a role too. The Grizzly Grim moniker is known outside of Crossbell, so it makes sense. Keep in mind that international agreements are reached at conferences like this. It's necessary to have someone on hand with expertise in international and common law. Oh, I get it. So they brought in Grizzly Grim for legal advice and things like that. It's nice to see that we can see the start of the conference and all, but this stuff is way over my head. It's not as though it's our place to be concerned with the actual discussions during the conference. Focus on what matters most, making sure today passes without incident. Understood. Should we begin this plan? Yes, I've tasked you with patrolling floors 34, 35, and 36. Everyone on these floors should know who you are and why you're there. I'd advise you to take your time to speak with the members of the media and the staff of the dignitaries. Got it. In that case, I'll head back to the 34th floor now. May Adios protect you and call me if anything happens. Dudley is usually pretty steely, but even he's on edge today. I noticed too. It is hard to imagine today ending peacefully after what we experienced last night. I agree. We're gonna need to be hyper vigilant on these patrols. Bingo. What do you say, leader? Ready to get this show on the road? I am. Let's follow Dudley's advice and chat up all of the following ancillary staff while we do our rounds. Alright. And what floor is this? Oh, this is... Okay, 36. This is one of the floors, so let's go around. Nothing here. Just a bunch of maids cleaning. And butlers, okay. Nothing here. Is that Lecter? It is. Man, get a load of this view. I think is his hair changed? Ain't it something, SSS? Ain't it something, SSS? Lecter? What are you doing here? What are you guys talking about? I'm part of His Excellency, the Chancellor's staff, right? Nothing unusual about me chillaxing here. I feel like his hair is different, or maybe I'm just misremembering. It's been a few weeks, guys and gals. We really gotta stop meeting like this. Even on a day like this, you look like you don't have a care in the world. That makes me think he is hiding something. Come on, little lady. All I'm hiding under all of this charm is even more charm than I know what to do with. Those looks on your faces tell me you guys have a bunch of questions you'd like to ask. Yeah, we've heard a thing or two in the past 24 hours, specifically about the Imperial government's actions or lack thereof regarding the trade conference. Alrighty then. I'm not exactly sure what you've heard, but hey, riddle me this. Did you figure out I'm working with the noble faction to take Gilliath Osborne's life? What? Excuse me. Consider the source, guys. Don't listen to him. I ain't falling for this one again, pal. Fool me once, shame on you. Dang it. Don't ruin a guy's fun like that. 2 out of 6 ain't bad, but I was hoping to get more than half of you. You got me. I don't suppose we have to worry about that one coming true, do we? Listen, Lecter, because I need to make something clear. I don't care what your position or aim is. From where I stand, you're the type of person who takes responsibility and knows how to get the job done. With that in mind, the most logical thing to do will be to cooperate with us today, at least as far as security is concerned. Am I wrong? So that's your play. I was just fooling about what I said. But couldn't you imagine something like that actually happening? You've got to keep your eyes peeled at all times. Remain vigilant. That's the key to a good writer finding good inspiration, you know? None of us are trying to become authors. I've seen broken rifles shoot straighter than this guy does. Sorry, but that's all the advice I can give you at the moment. You should keep an open mind about how things might play out. Expect the unexpected and all that jazz. Really helpful. Thanks. Even now, I can't get a read on what he's thinking. I feel like I understand him even less than I did before this conversation. Alright, so this side is pretty much set. Let's check out this section over here. More maids and more maids. More maids. More maids and butlers. Okay. So, it's just Lecter on the 36th floor alone. So let's check out the 35th floor. Oh, Killica? Look who it is. It's been a while, SSS. How are your patrols going? Killica. Where are my manners? The last time we met, circumstances were different. Allow me to introduce myself again. Killica Ruin, at your service. Aide to the President of the Calvert Republic. I have other responsibilities and titles, of course, but there's no need to speak of those right now. No, of course not. What happened to being an entertainment producer? Just one of my many masks I have to put on for my line of work. There is, in fact, an office for the agency back in the Republic. In other words, you were not technically lying. She's a woman that can be whatever she wants to be. How fitting for a spy. I know, what I wouldn't give to roleplay with her for just one night. You're talking about a spy from one of the major powers for radio's sake, Randy. Care to share with the class? Oh, this reminds me. I was told you were invited aboard the Arsail yesterday. I beg your pardon? I'm not surprised you already know. Geez, talking about having good resources. Settle down. It isn't anything to fret over. I am curious, though. Did you hear anything of note? We did, but it was only some friendly advice. Nothing more. There's still plenty we have to discover for ourselves. Is that so? That same could be said of myself. What? I was merely thinking aloud. I can envision as many scenarios as I'd like, but that doesn't mean any of them will come to pass. There are several conflicting motives and much we still don't know. That's true of everyone working here today. Will today be the day the first domino falls, or will it be later? At this point in time, who's to say? I think I understand what you're getting at, but still. I would guess she's right on the money. The only thing I'll add is that my role today is to simply watch over the President and protect him. In that sense, we may as well be colleagues for now. Why don't we put aside allegiances and simply watch how today unfolds? Beyond that, I have no further comments to make at this time. Fair enough. Thanks for the information. Okay. Obviously, that room there, it leads to the conference. Oh, and here's Mueller, Schwartz, and a bunch of their troops. Hold on one second. Okay. Good to see you again, Major Vander. Anything out of the ordinary to report? Ah, it's the SSS. Things have been calm thus far, though we of course have not let our guards down. Even the discourse of the conference itself has been civil. I'm impressed by how smoothly things are going. If the conference went well, that would at least alleviate some of the stress on the prince's shoulders. Is everything okay, Major Vander? You seem to have a lot on your mind. I guess you could say that. We've come this far because of the seeds he chose to sow, after all. But never mind that. What's important now is our duties at the conference. I have my role to play as the prince's escort, just as I'm sure you have your own to serve as security. There's no denying that. Good afternoon, everyone. If it isn't the special support section, I see you're busy securing the conference floors for everyone. That's right. This was the next stop in our rounds. Get a load of this room. So this is where they've started the big guns, huh? I think each and every one of you has got to be a ranking officer. Correct. I believe this room alone could stop a major incident if they had to. This room? Try Senior Captain Schwartz's swordsmanship. I've heard it's as feared as it is elegant. Yeah, she's actually pretty good in battle. Please, it's nothing that special. Regardless of what threat appears, they would not lay a finger on Her Highness. I swear it. Trust us to guard the conference room. Good luck securing the surrounding areas, SSS. Thank you, and we will. Alright, 34th floor. Let's go and see what else we can help secure. Oh, Grace is here. Good to see you, SSS. Hey, if it ain't Lloyd and crew. It's finally time to knock this trade conference out, huh? It's the main event of main events. Crossbell's leadership and representatives from all 4 neighboring countries in a conference bonanza. And what a main event without a primetime venue. Orcus Tower, the continent's first true skyscraper. Can you feel it? The excitement in this room? Ah, I'm so excited that my heart's about to jump out of my chest. It's good to see you aren't nervous, at least. This is Grace you're talking about. She is always like this. You're back, Tio. You haven't missed a beat with this snark either. I'll admit, I'm pretty darn excited to write up a storm of articles about today, but enough about that. There's someone I want to introduce you to. Meet Noticia? Oh god, I'm sorry. That name is funny. Meet Noticia. Noticia, this is the special support section. I've seen all of you in the papers before. You look like an even finer team in person. Nice to meet you. I'm Noticia, from the Liberal News. Thanks for looking after us all today. Oh, I thought she just introduced herself. I thought she introduced herself twice. Happy to be of service. I've heard of the Liberal News. It's the largest publication in the Liberal Kingdom. That's right. They've also been getting a lot of attention in the journalism sphere for another reason. Two of their own were awarded the Pulitzer Prize last year. Oh, Dorothy and was his name Nate? Niall. That means Dorothy and Niall got the Pulitzer Prize. Awesome. That's awesome. That's really, really cool. Pulitzer Prize. If I remember correctly, they award that to the most outstanding journalist on the continent each year. One and the same. It was given to a duo named Niall Burns and Dorothy High. Yes! Niall is our ace reporter and Dorothy is a brilliant camera woman. So if last year's winners are from the Liberal News, does that mean... Was it their coverage of the phenomenon that happened in Liberal last year that won them the award? Right again. Technically, their coverage of everything that led up to the incident factored into the decision too. They sound very impressive. Yeah, I guess so. We're not gonna let them outshine us though. It's every reporter's dream to win the Pulitzer Prize at least once in their career. And if you want to win the next one, then you better get the best scoop you can get every day, especially today. You up for it, Reigns? We've got to go all out and not let anyone out here outdo us. Yes, ma'am. If Grace gets any more fired up, the orbital sprinklers might go off. Let's hope she can behave herself at least. Alright. I don't think any of these characters are of much importance to our story. I just had to talk to them just to be sure. That way I can, just in case, I'm like missing the story's not progressing because I'm missing someone I have to talk to. So far, just a lot of regular military troops and personnel. Oh, I can't believe I'm sure of it this time. Sure of it? What is he? Excuse us, Vice Commissioner Pierre. What? The special support section. Oh joy. What do you want? What are you doing here, Vice Commissioner? Theo, don't be so... Nothing. I'm doing my job as the head of security planning. If you say so. Oh yeah, I remember reading that in some of the materials we were given. I did not read those, hence my confusion. You what? Here we go. I probably should have mentioned that sooner, Theo. Whoops. One question. If you're the head of security planning, why are you here instead of in the command room? Taking a little break? Please. I handed Dudley full command while we're on site. There's no reason for me to be in the command room. I would only be getting in their way, obviously, so I'd think whatever you'd like. As your superior, I know what's best for the operation. You six should focus on not getting in Dudley's way. Yes, sir. I think that's everyone. It should be everyone. I'm gonna chat with everyone here just to make sure. Oh, there's something happening here. Alright. Good to see you, Captain Grant. Hey, Grant, working hard? Hello, Sergeant Major Seeker. To you as well, Sergeant Orlando. Though I suppose neither one of you is technically part of the CGF at the moment. That's true. My leave is only temporary. Call me whatever's easier for you. I don't really care either way. Are you two the only ones from the CGF on this floor? We are. You can chalk that up to the dignitaries and the members of the press. Part of the CGF's orders for this assignment is to stay out of their sight and minimize exposure, hence the minimal deployment. Are you suggesting that? That's right. It was a decision made to appease the two major powers. The Guardian Force's armaments are restricted by state law, but it's still an organization that carries itself like any state military. We stay within budget, but funding goes towards improving and maintaining the arms we're allowed to have. Those upgrades will be a point of contention if they were out in the open during the conference. The CGF would rather avoid that altogether. Out of sight and out of mind, in other words. Diplomacy can be a tricky issue. All true, but I try not to think about it too much. Keeping up appearances with the territory, there's still an entire company of guardsmen one story below ready to move at a moment's notice. Should something happen, they'll be on this floor within seconds, rest assured. Good to know. We'll be counting on you if it comes to that. Okay. I don't think there's anything else to talk. Oh wait, here's Dudley. There you all are. Have you seen anything amiss? No, not yet. So you're able to assess the security of the entire tower from this monitor? Right. We have access to every critical area of the tower in real time. That includes the conference room as well. Thankfully, the building is equipped with the most advanced security system on the continent. Starting with the IBC and Orville stores, many buildings are starting to use security cameras. I have never seen this many in one place, however. You're not doing it justice. I never thought I'd see something so high-tech. I wouldn't be surprised to see them eventually be used to survey areas outside of the city. CGF's days could be numbered, Noel. I wouldn't say that, and I don't think it will ever be that simple. How widespread they become will depend on the public's acceptance. Yes, I agree. For now, view them as a welcome convenience for this assignment. With their help, we may be able to put a stop to potential terrorist plots before it even happens. That's why we have to keep our eyes sharp and not overlook even the smallest details in security. Remember to report anything suspicious you find immediately. Understood. That should be it. Yeah, that should be it. Yep, there we go. Alright, that's one patrol down. Nothing unusual to report at the moment. Yep, so far so good. Let's make another loop around. Agreed. I hope the conference is going smoothly. I'm a bit nervous. I know the mayor and speaker are doing their best in there, but that's a tough room. The Blood and Iron Chancellor and President Rocksmith present the greatest challenge. That they do. Want to ask someone how it's been going during the intermission? The same day, 3:05 p.m. The trade conference finally reached its halfway point. Before the intermission officially began, the heads of the state gave a brief press conference for the media. Hmm. I know how I know how Osborne looks, but how does Rocksmith look again? I forgot. Meanwhile, Lloyd and the others took the opportunity to speak with Mr. Grimwood, who'd started his break ahead of the others. So that explains it. Things being as precarious as they are, the SSS was asked to assist with the security detail. Exactly. I'm not sure how much of a difference we really make in the grand scheme, though. We may only be an additional peace of mind. Don't sell yourself short, my friend. You're the team that thwarted an assassination attempt on our previous mayor. It's reassuring to have you all here. That's kind of you to say. Yeah. Thanks for the vote of confidence. How is the conference going, Mr. Grimwood? Things appear to have gone smoothly thus far. That's fair to say. So far, so good. The participating nations have already agreed to several trade deals. Mayor Croy's efforts are truly beginning to pay off for all of us. Thank goodness. That puts my mind at ease. You said it's been good so far. Do you think things may get rocky in the second half? Oh, is there something you're concerned about? This may be out of line for me to say as an observer and not a participant. The purpose of the first half of the conference was to focus on economic proposals that affect things such as trade and finance. However, the second half's focus will be proposals from each country's head of state. Each nation's agenda will come into play. That is undoubtedly when the topic of Crossbow security will be addressed. That would mean, talking about Crossbow state security means foreign military force is going to enter the equation. The non-aggression pact was signed only 2 years ago. Can they really do that? It's true that Liberal's Queen was pushed the pact into reality 2 years ago with Crossbow's best interests in mind, but nonetheless, two participating nations today technically did not sign that pact. Remiferia and, well, Crossbell itself. It's a foregone conclusion a new continental security framework will be discussed. Grandfather expects that too, and is equally concerned. Would the simplest solution not be to write a similar new pact and have Crossbow sign it as well? Has to be. They should sign a new framework like the Non-Aggression Pact that prohibits military force between all the nations. Oh, I get it. Crossbow isn't technically a nation. The Empire and the Republic only recognize Crossbow as an autonomous state. It's as you say, Crossbow lacks the sovereignty to enter an international treaty. Economic deals alone are not ground for the state's entrance into such agreements. That is why Crossbow security becoming a focus at the trade conference is a precarious issue for the Crossbow's leader. For Crossbow's leaders. I'm sorta getting it, but this definitely isn't cut and dry. There is something I would like to ask. Crossbow is not the only autonomous state on the continent. There's also Lemon, Ored, and Northumbria. Are those states also barred from entering into international treaties? No, they're not. It's true that each state has its own historical circumstances as to why they've remained states and not formed nations. However, each also have been recognized by the major powers as an independent state with sovereignty similar to their own. So they're sovereign states. Exactly. They're treated very differently than Crossbell, primarily because their sovereignty is recognized by the holy city of Arteria. That would be, as in the high seat of the Septian Church? That holy city of Arteria? Yes. As a city-state, Arteria's territory is small, but the church holds religious authority on the continent. Several autonomous states and free cities have been established because of the church's support. Then you have Crossbow, whose autonomy was gifted to it by Ereboni and Calvert. That's how we were in the unique position of having two suzerain? I've never read that word before. Having two suzerain states above us. And that has historically led to Crossbow being dragged into their conflicts time after time. If Crossbow had a modicum of sovereignty, the situation could improve. But if consent from both countries is what it will take for that to become a reality, then it will never happen. I wish I could disagree. When put that way, it does seem bleak. Getting back to the topic at hand, I would have expected the Chancellor and President to have its own security proposals. Naturally, each country's terms for such proposals will be vastly different. The Speaker and Mayor will have to be careful of that. Apologies, my young friends. I didn't mean to put even more on your plates. Remember that Speaker McDowell is used to these kinds of things. I sense Mayor Croy has some cards to play himself. Cards to play? As in a plan? What could you be referring to? I don't know the particulars myself. However, it could. Sorry, I should take this. Lloyd Bannings of the Special Support Section speaking. Bannings, the press conference has concluded. He did not say that at all, but okay. The dignitaries are headed to the 36th floor. He literally said in Japanese, they're going to the next floor, that 36th floor, but he's also asked, where are you guys? So that's only like half of what he said. Got it. We're still in the break room on the 34th floor. Is there anything else we should know? Yes, actually. We were contacted by both Chancellor Osborne and President Rocksmith. They each requested to speak with the SSS during the intermission. They what? Given who they are, I hope you understand we're in no position to turn them down. The SSS is to visit each leader's rooms during the break, and that's final. The President's room is the furthest one in the West Wing corridor, and the Chancellor's is the furthest room in the East Wing. Hold on a second. I know why we can't refuse, but why ask for us? This is a lot of pressure, Dudley. Don't be childish, Bannings. This is an excellent opportunity to learn the motives of each side. You're right. Okay, we'll head there right away. Listen up. Rely on McDowell if things get difficult. She's the best suited to handling these situations on your team. Report to me once you're finished. Understood. What was that about, Lloyd? The chat sounded that chat sounded all over the place. What's going on, bud? Brace yourselves. Lloyd explained to the others that both Chancellor Osborne and President Rocksmith had requested a private audience with them. Excuse me? No fooling. None detected. This does not appear to be a joke. This is certainly a surprise. Special Support Section's name is more well known than I thought. I don't know about that. I suspect because we're familiar with a couple people from each of their staff, that could explain why the Chancellor and President have taken an interest in us. You might be onto something here. Regardless of the reason, there's no getting around our hands being tied. I know. Let's head up to the furthest rooms of the East and West Wings of the 36th floor and get this over with. We need to see them right away. Roger. Yes, sir. Alright, let's make our way over there. As I take a bite of my snack, 1 second. Alright, that's Lecter and Chloe. Yeah, so for those that might not remember, or maybe you've never played Trails in the Sky, Chloe, or Princess Claudia, however you want to call her, and Lecter here have, they met each other a very, very long time ago, since before Princess Claudia was even a princess. So they were first at the academy that they each went to, and Lecter was only there to like survey or kind of like oversee Princess Claudia herself. So he was there under like some sort of business, you know, some sort of like, you know, there was a plan for him being there with Claudia. And all of a sudden he just kind of up and vanished. And then he appeared one day when Princess Claudia was like a princess, and she had like kind of like this party on the roof of her castle. And now here they are together again. So Claudia gets to see Lecter for the first time in a long time. So that's what happened. Oh, Lucy. Yep. I was only in Remiferia on business too. Guess she caught wind. I tried to run, but she caught me. Dang, she's gotten better. Do you realize how many bonks over the head she gave me? 0. She hugged you and cried, didn't she? Dang it. I know exactly how Lucy feels, you know. She's probably well aware of just how dangerous your day-to-day is and has been worried sick. Man, why do perceptive women gotta be so scary? I never know how to handle them. Maybe, but you brought it upon yourself. This really does take me back. It's been so long since I've seen Leo too. I'd love for all of us to have a reunion. Yeah, so like I said before, they were back at the they were friends in the academy that they each went to, and that's what they're talking about. They're talking about Leo, and they're talking about pretty much like the people that they went to the academy with because they were in a club together. Why the look, Lecter? Isn't this when you say, "Yeah, let's all have a bash of Michelin and party till we drop"? You got me. No promises, but I'll see what I can do. Just don't hold your breath, you know. I know. I'll still be looking forward to it. I should be going. If you'll please excuse me. No prob. And hey, don't forget to say hi to Sieg for me. I still owe him that salami. Damn. She's really grown up. She's become the ideal crown princess. You guys think so too, right? Busted. Sorry, we didn't mean to eavesdrop. It was a happy accident. Was it? You seem very curious about their relationship, Ellie. Tio! She ain't the only one. You and the princess sure seem close. What's the story? I was her senior back in school. Not Sunday school. Genus Royal Academy, to be specific. Genus Royal Academy? Isn't that a prestigious school in Liberal? That's right. It's true that they accept students from abroad, but... Did you study there on imperial taxpayer money? Nah. Old man Gilead paid my tuition out of pocket. Well, it's about time I hit the old dusty trail myself. Oh, that reminds me. You got called in to talk with the head honchos, right? They're both real pains in the ass to deal with, so good luck in there. What? Could he be any more sketchy if he tried? Who'd have thought the next queen of the Liberal went to school with an imperial spy? Truth is stranger than fiction, as they say. No matter how you put it, we can't forget that he's a subordinate of the Blood and Iron Chancellor. As for what he's after personally, I think we have to figure that out for ourselves. Alright, so first person, who's over here? I've been waiting for you. You're the Crossbell Police Department Special Support Section, correct? We are. Is this the President's room? Yes, I've been told to let you pass. Please enter and mind your manners. I think this is Rocksmith. Alright. Please excuse us. This man is the President of Calvert, one of the continent's 2 largest nations. Sure is. Even I've got butterflies in my stomach. Excuse us, Mr. President. Thank you for requesting to meet with the Special Support Section. Thank you all for coming. Please sit down. No need to feel anxious, ladies and gentlemen. Right. Gladly. Are you all surprised I call you here? Ah, where are my manners? Allow me to apologize for taking up your precious time. I imagine you must be very busy. You don't have to apologize to us. That's right, it's been an honor to have been invited. You're Speaker McDowell's granddaughter, isn't that right? We met once before at a celebration of some kind, if I remember correctly. That's right. We spoke once when I had the opportunity to visit Calvert with my grandfather. It was 2 years ago. Ah, yes. Now I remember. And then just earlier this year, your grandfather chose to not seek re-election and became the Speaker. I truly admire how passionate he still is at his age. He's a model statesman, if I may say so. I'm sure grandfather would be flattered to hear that. By the way, Mr. President, what was it you called us here for? Truth be told, I've heard all about you lot from Killica. This year's Schwartz auction sounded like quite the event, am I right? Frankly, former Speaker Hartman and I were never on good terms. And selfishly, I've been eager to meet the police team that tipped the first dominoes that led to his downfall. Well, we're honored, sir. Yeah, but honestly, the dude had it coming. He ain't got no one to blame but himself. That is true. He made his bed the day he became involved with the cult. Ah, of course I know of them too. The D-therefore-G cult. Their treachery spread across the entire continent, but no country was more affected than my own. I owe you my thanks for putting a stop to them once and for all. You're welcome, but we really were only doing our jobs. And we weren't alone either. Several others supported us and made sure we solved that crisis in one piece. No need to be so humble, my boy. I heard things were rather dire. Even your guardian force were being manipulated. Talk about an uphill battle. Yet you still managed to overcome it all, protect the little girl, and squash the cult. Good goddess, those are no small achievements, lads. Wow, you flatter us, Mr. President. Truly, thank you for such high praise. Honestly, had Crossbell fallen to the cult, I don't know what we could have done. If they had taken hold of the IBC, that would have brought international trade and finance to a halt. Such a thing would have severe consequences for our economy. That's true. All the more reason I'd like to acknowledge your valor. I think the fitting thing to do would be to award you with each a medal. Yes, that sounds perfect. As soon as I return to the Republic, I'll have the arrangements made. No, that's not necessary. Is it appropriate for citizens of Crossbell to receive awards from the Republican government? And sides, we already got plenty of recognition back in May from Old Man McDowell. Truly, I don't think there's anything inappropriate about it at all. Your troubles are your own. Your troubles are our own as well. After all, the Republic holds suzerainty over Crossbell. I don't know what that means. I mean, I get the context of what it means, but I've never read that word before. Mr. President. There's no need for the long faces of the Galeras, boys and girls. You received an invitation from our pal, the Blood and Iron Chancellor, too, did you not? I'd be delighted to speak with you all more. But I think my turn is over. And not to fear, I'll see to it that you receive those awards we spoke of. Please look forward to it. To be honest, he really didn't say anything important whatsoever. There was nothing really gained from that. Thank you for coming. I believe you were called by Chancellor Osborne too. I mean, the only thing I really made out of this conference was nothing besides him reiterating the fact that he has dominance over us. I believe you were called by Chancellor Osborne too. You can find his room in the opposite wing. Thanks. We appreciate your help. You're welcome. Farewell. He was something, wasn't he? Exactly what I expected from the leader of such a large country. Capable and devilishly cunning. Could you at least wait until we're not standing in front of his room, Wazzy? Yes, but he is not wrong. I do not think he was intentionally trying to put pressure on us, but he managed to either way. I think he was trying to keep up appearances. As Calvert's president, it would be a good publicity to honor the ones who were credited with ending the cult incident. He said Crossbell's troubles are theirs as well, but reaffirms that he sees Calvert as Crossbell's owners. Man, oh my god, you sure that making that clear wasn't his whole reason for calling us in there? These major powers leaders got egos as wide as their country's borders. Without a doubt, even Diet members from an autonomous state like this have nothing on them. We still have to speak with the Chancellor. What could that be about? I'm not sure what he's going to say, but I do know that we need to steel ourselves before we meet with him. Alright, head over there. That must be the Chancellor's room. The intermission will likely be over by the time we're done speaking with him. We should take care of anything else we need to do beforehand. There's really nothing else. But I'll save. It's probably like these optional cutscenes that you can view, but whatever. Let's just move on. You're the SSS group from the Crossbell Police, correct? His Excellency is waiting for you inside. Don't keep him waiting. Right. Pardon us. He's exuding arrogance. Classic Imperial army. Overbearing as all Gehenna. Excuse us, Chancellor Osborne. Announcing the arrival of the CPD Special Support Section. Thank you for having us. Do come in. Magnificent view, isn't it? It's fascinating to think that mankind built a structure like this to look down on the world below. We're standing in proof that we finally reached the glory the ancient civilization once had. Maybe so. Are you referring to the ancient Zamorian civilization from over 1,200 years ago? Everything I've heard about the ancient civilization makes it sound like they more or less had magic at their fingertips. It wasn't necessarily a utopia, mind you. During last year's Liberal incident, a large floating city appeared over the kingdom. That city was constructed before the Great Collapse, yet was sealed away by human hands. It was a symbol of both mankind's potential and its hubris. Our hubris? But our potential too? It sounded like you know a lot about what's happening around the continent. Oh, I wouldn't say I know everything. As far as Crossbell is concerned, I haven't discovered nearly as much as that priest Joachim Gwenter did. How do you... It's what we don't know is what makes the world so interesting. If you had everything in the palm of your hand, life as we know it would be helplessly mundane. Don't you agree, Wazi Hemisphere? So you've heard of me too. Did you only go as far as to learn my name? I hope you're not trying to expose all my dirty little secrets. Perish the thought. I've no particular interest in doing so. I'm much more interested in the successor to the war god. Yeah? The Imperial Intelligence Division, I take it. Their ability to gather information is second to none. Where are my manners? I'm head of state of the Erebonian Imperial Government, Gilead Osborne. I've heard so much about you from Lecter. Here to join me for a friendly chat before the intermission ends? Well then, Chancellor, what is it you wanted to discuss with us? You already seem all too aware of everything that is happening right now. Don't overthink it. This is merely a polite conversation. There is something I would like to hear your opinions on, however. Our opinions? Yes, I'll be frank. How long do you think your precious crossbow will last? That's a loaded question, isn't it? On the contrary, it's not out of malice. History tells us that no government lasts forever. To say nothing of the Orbital Revolution, which has accelerated all aspects of our current era. How much longer can a land as contested as Crossbell withstand the coming turbulence of this era? I'm not sure. Forever. As long as there are citizens in the state that will have the will to protect it. No, well. True. Having a strong will is important. Resolve, one might say. There are rare instances in where time trends are bucked and the course of history itself is changed. The people are never truly powerless. I don't doubt the potential of their resolve can hold. Then you agree. However, what happens when two opposing resolves clash? It's simple. The lesser of the two will be engulfed, fanning the flames of revolution even further. Eventually, that hellfire will swirl and make its way to the surface. The justice and ethics of the past will decay in the searing heat, until the world itself is ablaze. Surely you can see it on the horizon. I can understand how compared to the Empire or the Republic's crossbow resolve would seem insignificant. But even if one is smaller, that doesn't make it lesser. It's not a foregone conclusion the larger one will engulf it. Just as it wasn't when Liberal repelled the Imperial Army. Oh, that's right. The 100 Days War from 12 years ago. Well played. Resolve is ultimately a question of tenacity. Liberal was small but tenacious. It overcame the shambolic effort the Empire put forward. There's much Crossbell could stand to glean from that moment in time. However, I'm unconvinced that Crossbellans hold the same pride and conviction that Liberalians do. I'll leave things at that. Our intermission is coming to an end. It almost slipped my mind. Don't expect medals from the Imperial government. The nobility becomes even more irksome when awards are given to commoners. Consider yourselves fortunate. I rarely see His Excellency in such a good mood. What? Are you kidding me? He seems to have taken a liking to you. I understand it may be a tough pill to swallow, but I'd suggest you accept what he had to say. Though perhaps it isn't my place to tell you that given my position. You can't be serious. That man is a damn monster. Right. But we have to take his perspective for what it is and not let it affect us. Hey, Tio. You okay? Yes. I'll be fine. The imagery he was describing was a little too vivid. I got lightheaded was all. I can't blame you. It was like I could feel the flames he was describing breathing down my neck. Calling the Blood and Iron Chancellor a monster is putting it lightly. He believes he holds the whole of Crossbell in the palm of his hand. Maybe. But I'm not convinced that he called us out here to torment us, believe it or not. The same goes for President Rocksmith. I think the interest they've taken in us is genuine for better or worse. Let's just take it for what it's been. A learning experience. That's one way to look at it. I think this is an aspect of you that we can all learn from. You're telling me. Leave it to Lloyd to see the glass as half full. But he's right. There's no use in letting this slow us down. Of course there isn't. We can use this moving forward. Now that the intermission is over, our next step is obvious. Let's head back to Dudley and report how the two conversations went. The same day, 4:30 p.m. Just as Mr. Grimwood had predicted, the discourse has become more turbulent in the second half of the conference. Chancellor Osborne and President Rocksmith continued to raise question after question aimed at Crossbell's security and future. As the conversation wore on, the looks on Mayor Croy and Speaker McDowell's faces became even more sullen and stern. The heart of the problem is that a lone cult was able to cause so much public disorder in a single night, no less. Furthermore, half of Crossbell's state guard fell under their control. Such a failure of security is unprecedented. Be that as it may, I thought we'd had already covered those details. The details are now what's in question. It's the quality of your state's crisis management that we're concerned about. You cannot deny the lives and property of Imperial citizens were threatened during that incident. What do you have to say to that? Hold for just a moment, Chancellor. Reparation procedures already took place regarding the cult incident. Asking for further mirror on top of that will only serve to cast Urbonia in an unfavorable light. Mirror is not the issue either, Your Highness. The Crossbell state government has still yet to answer how it can guarantee true security. There is a need to protect lives, property, and economic interests of all those in and tied to Crossbell. Is such protection guaranteed from a state constantly in political gridlock and susceptible to top-down corruption? Pardon me, but I'd heard former Speaker Hartman was immediately removed from office upon his corruption coming to light. The Crossbell's political system has been shown capable of correcting itself. Wouldn't a new security system suffice? I must disagree, Your Lordship. Surely you don't think it will be that easy. Crossbell's political foundation is prone to corruption by nature. With that said, I of course know that Mayor Croy and Speaker McDowell here are outstanding statesmen. However, what would happen to Crossbell without them? How quickly would things regress without their leadership? Corruption exists in every form of government. That is not true of only Crossbell, but of my kingdom as well. That taken into consideration, would it not be best for us to observe whether the Speaker and Mayor can bring political reform during their terms? Pardon me for saying so, Your Highness, but I believe that is rather naive of you. I understand why you would be so hopeful. However, Crossbell is much more different than a monarchy such as liberal. It is easy to undermine the political system of somewhere that has no central or traditional authority. History has proven that time and time again. That may be true, but if I may, my country also does not have a monarchy, but an honorable republic charter. It was an impressive undertaking by various powers and groups that gathered after our revolution 100 years ago. With that charter in place, our country knows how our system can survive and improve, even if it may times too be stricken with corruption. So you say, but it is not as though our autonomous state law isn't without its own pride and honor. It's true that in our state's young history, imperfections in its design have come to light. However, so too is it that we have been improving upon them slowly but surely. Mr. Grimwood, may I ask how many additional laws and amendments have been passed by Crossbell's government in the last 10 years? But of course. I do not have the exact figure in front of me, however, I would estimate 50 in total. Just 50 in 10 years? I'm surprised. That's an average of only 5 a year. Perhaps, though, the rate has been increasing in recent years. There were 12 laws passed last year, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, but admittedly many of those pertain to additions in finance and the establishment of the Orbo network. Regardless, I think it's clear that we cannot assume that a meaningful new security framework will be implemented quickly. As I suspected, it would be wiser to seek alternative solutions in the interim. I agree wholeheartedly. Well, I hadn't realized the two of you had become such good chums. Would you care to also settle the territorial dispute over the Nord Highlands today while you're at it? Well, point well taken, Your Highness. We'll have to leave discussing that matter for another day. Time is growing short, gentlemen. I'd advise we move on to other proposals. Very well, then. As proposed by His Excellency, let's review. This is bad. It's exactly like Mr. Grimwood warned us it would be. The Blood and Iron Chancellor and President are going knives out on Crossbell right now. Is there nothing the Mayor or Speaker can say in objection? They're right that Crossbell state laws have several structural flaws. That's making it harder for Grandfather and Uncle to deny what they're saying. Maybe, but those flaws were built into Crossbell by the major powers during its founding 70 years ago. They're using that to their advantage to force their unreasonable demands. Huh. They scripted things to go down like this from the very beginning. As I've told you before, the discourse of the conference itself has nothing to do with us. Keep your heads on straight and see to it that we make through today. Yeah, sorry about that. In that case, should we begin another patrol? This is Dudley, 1st Division. Emma, has something... What? What's going on? Something must have happened. The Red Constellation and Heiyu are both on the move. You've already shaken her surveillance. No way. What? Don't panic. We knew this would happen. Stay alert. I'll keep you posted if there are any further developments. Understood. Now's as good a time as ever. We should begin mobilizing our reserve forces. Damn. This really is gonna go down, huh? What the hell are they planning? Randy. Try to keep your cool, Randy. We know the Red Constellation isn't the real threat. Right. The brunt of the police force is protecting the entire entrance of the building. They can't possibly be hoping for a fight like that, can they? Everything we know says that's unlikely. Them moving isn't good news, though. What was that you just said? What's going on down there? Your grandfather. Your Excellency, what was that you just said? My apologies, but would you like to repeat yourself? I'll gladly say it as many times as you'd like. Disband the Crossbell Guardian Force. In its place, have the security forces of other countries permanently stationed in Crossbell. That is the most logical course of action. Please wait a moment. Surely you are not forgetting the terms of the Non-Aggression Pact, Chancellor Osborne. Of course not. We agreed to not use force to solve disputes in over Crossbell. This, however, is not an attempt at invasion. I am merely stating the obvious. A useless pseudo-military organization that loses control and threatens its own people's lives should be disbanded. In practice, the Crossbell Guardian Force is inconsequential when placed before the Imperial or Republican armies. In front of true tanks, CGF's armored cars may as well be made of paper. To say nothing of the drain on the Crossbell and Mirror it costs to maintain, leave matters of the state security to foreign military forces. That is the best and most cost-efficient solution for a mere autonomous territory. I think that is far too radical of an option. And just how do you propose these foreign military forces be designated? Are you suggesting that it be the Imperial Army? I don't recall saying that. Then again, I'm willing to forgive Crossbell's past transgression and offer the Imperial Army's assistance if necessary. It's a small price to pay for the sake of peace in Western Zamoria. wouldn't you say? Gah! Settle down, everyone. There's no need to get so worked up. I agree the Chancellor's proposal is a bit drastic. However, I share his opinion that the CGF leaves much to be desired and is wholly inadequate when it comes to state security. Oh? What would you propose then? This is only a suggestion, but I would propose the beginning with mass reduction of the Guardian Force's enrollment levels. In exchange, Calvert will assume responsibility for Tangram Gate, and Erebonian can do the same for Belgard Gate. That way, both armies will be able to respond to emergencies even here in Crossbell City. Isn't that no better, Mr. President? It's worth a consideration. You're an impressive man, President Rocksmith. You managed to be an excellent statesman and leader, all while fending off staunch political opposition. Not compared to you, Chancellor. You're reforming an entire empire while suppressing the influence of disgruntled nobles. This can't be happening. I've heard enough. You are aware that there are more than 2 countries participating in this conference, yes? Ah, pardon me, Your Highness. The President and I may have gotten a little sidetracked. Still, the direction of the conversation is obvious. Would you two mind giving us your opinion on the idea? Ugh. That's terrible. Absurd is more like it. It takes some serious balls to say any of this with a straight face. I hate to say it, but it's not as though their proposals don't have any basis. Still, I was hoping things wouldn't come to this. This might be the part where we hope that they can hold out just a little bit longer. Now of all times, it could be Dudley. Banning's here. Hey, it's Sergey. Chief Sergey, what's going on? No time. I'll keep it short. Sonia just called me. Radar trackers near Tangram and Belgar Gate were destroyed. The same one being used as anti-air radar to detect any potential invading ships in Crossbell's airspace. What? She suspected it was the work of the terrorists. I've already filled Dudley in. I'll tell you what I told him. Be careful and get ready. Roger that. What's wrong? Is it my uncle and the others? No, not them. It was... Please, everyone, may I have your attention? Regarding your concerns over security measures, I would like to offer my own suggestion. Oh? I thought you'd been staying a little too quiet. Let's hear it. What do you suggest? Very well. I was thinking... Everyone, get down! Oh my god. What? Airships? Bulletproof windows, at least. Will they hold? Gah. There's no way. Is it the terrorists? They came all the way here? Don't worry. The windows are bulletproof tempered glass. But to be safe, I'd ask that you all back away from the window. Okay. Looks like they held up. Are you alright, Your Highness? Yes, I'm fine. That airship just now was a high-speed Rainford model. Yes, there's no mistaking it. The other was a Verne Company military gunship. Right. This aligns with the reports of one having been stolen. Is everyone alright? Yes, thank the goddess. Never mind that. Where did they go? Good. You should be able to hear me now. Conference attendees, allow me to introduce myself. We are the Imperial Liberation Front, and we represent the anti-immigration faction seeking to protect the traditions and sanctity of our beloved Calvert. What? The 2 terrorist groups active in the Empire and the Republic? We have formed an allegiance to topple our respective enemies. Prepare yourself, Blood and Iron Chancellor Gilead Osborne. President Rocksmith, you've met your end. To protect the traditions of our Calvert from the abominations of the East, we will stop at nothing. How foolish. How utter nonsense. Yeah, but this ain't looking too good. Here they come. So I wonder who exactly is it? Is it Campanella? Ooh, the airship on the right's so cool looking. They have a whole military belt. They're headed straight for us. Damn it. This is why those blueprints were there. Regardless, we need to have the CGF unit on standby. Move! What? What the heck? Well, why would it... What's happening? No good. There's no response from the panel. Ugh, what in Ado's name is going on? Hey, what about my scoop? Do something, Reigns. What am I supposed to do, Grace? This is far from ideal. Orchid's tower systems must be under their control. It is likely the work of the hacker from yesterday. We have to move. Let's get to the 35th floor and protect the dignitaries. Roger. If the elevator's out, then we gotta head for the emergency stairs. If they're still there. Yeah, I thought so. What? It was open just a moment ago. Theo, can you get it open? I will do what I can. Theo connected an orbital cable to the shutter's control panel. This is trickier than I expected, but it is nothing I cannot handle. It opened. Theo Talk comes through in the clutch yet again. No, the security set on this one was not particularly high, though now that it has been unlocked, the security on the other exits will likely be heightened. I may not be able to do this a second time. We're gonna have to be careful and keep that in mind then. Worry about that later. We've gotta move. Good lord. Good. Now! Target the Chancellor! You'll have to get through me first. Ugh, the divine blade of wind. Stand firm and attack in waves. We're here to help. You three, fall back. We're in your debt. Mueller, Vander, a guardian of the Arner family, and the Liberlian Royal Guard? It doesn't matter. Take them down. Pretty cool. But that also leaves blind spots, because they might be coming from somewhere else. Obviously, they came from the roof, but how do you know that they won't come from other places too? No way. Are you kidding me? I think we can leave that group to them. Oh, hey guys. Lecter. Are all the dignitaries alright? Yeah, for now anyway. Save the talking for later. They're coming from behind too. What? See, I told you there's gonna be blind spots. Reinforcements. Something's coming this way. Oh my god, it's archaisms? What are those? They're just like the ones we fought at the Mafia's hideout in the spring. Never mind that. Suppress them. Okay. And we got burst. Which means this is the end of the chapter. Try to hold our CP. Blue drop. Blue drop as well. Nice. You can definitely tell they're weak to water. And Noel's shield master quartz leveled up to level 3. So yeah, you get the extra bonus the bonuses, and now it's when your HP drops below 20%, you get the arts and regular physical defense boosted by 25%. They have archaisms too? They likely came in from the roof. Aren't those things made by the Society though? The terrorists could have acquired them from the black market. Or perhaps... Doesn't really matter. Look over there. Those archaisms weren't the only ones stopped in their tracks. Ugh. You're all monsters. There's no other choice. Switching to the backup plan. A stun grenade? Get back! Oh, they closed their door. That shutter leads too. Getting through with force wouldn't be easy. Everyone! I was wondering where you were. Good job pushing them from back here, at least. Maybe, but they're gonna escape at this rate. Can you get it open, Tio? I do not know, but I would try. Sorry, the security level has been increased to a maximum like I feared. I cannot bypass it on a portable terminal, even if I use the Aeon system. Not good. It's me. Yes, we managed to hold out. Unfortunately, they... What? They rolled the elevator down to the basement? Why would they... They didn't go back up to their airships on the roof? Stop and think about why they wouldn't. They could be trying to detonate orbital bombs they placed on board their ships. What? You might be right. If that's the case, they're aiming to bury the Chancellor and President with the building itself. It's no surprise terrorists would go to such lengths. It's no surprise terrorists would go to such lengths. Fools. This isn't good. There's no choice. We have to get through to this shutter, even if it's with brute force. Wait. We may be able to open it up after all. What? Well. Are you the one who trashed my place? I'll get you for that. You'll rue the day you crossed Jonah's sacred. Feisty, aren't you? Freeze! Release the tower controls now. Oh boy. I guess I have no other choice. Okay. This was just a fun little time killer anyways. I've had my fun. Good luck. Do your best not to bite the big one, boys and girls. What? Ignore him. Focus on the tower controls. Jonah, did he come back too? So it would seem. He must have taken today's flight from Lemon. Done. Now releasing tower controls. You did it. Can we use the elevators too? Yes, I released the locks. However, we have no control over the ones the terrorists are using. If that's the case, I'll head to the roof. I'll be the ones to disarm the orbital bombs on board their ships. You can do that, Kilika? But of course. It's a skill any counterintelligence officer worth their weight would have. Is that right, Secretary Arvindale? Shall we split the work? Sure. Might as well. Then allow me to accompany you there. They may have left archaisms to protect the bombs. The rest of you should pursue the terrorists. You may still be able to catch them. Understood. Fannings, your group is coming with us. There are two cells we'll likely need to split up. Understood. You got it. And there, down we go. Right. Got it. Understood. We will make do with what we know. Good work, Jonah. I will talk to you soon. What'd Jonah have to say? He analyzed the terrorist escape route. They have escaped into the geofront via Orchis Tower's foundation level. By foundation, you mean the basement of the tower. It must lead to the multiple geofront sectors. That's fine. It won't stop us from capturing them. We cannot let them get away and sully the name of the Crossbell Police Department any further. I feel similarly. I witnessed them attack as an international conference firsthand while acting as the guild representative. As a bracer, I cannot overlook it. There's no doubt in my mind we're going to capture them. I wish we didn't have to leave the situation with the orbital bombs on the roof in the hands of the others, though. I'm sure Kilika and Lecter will be able to handle things. They even have Senior Captain Schwartz and Major Vander in their back pocket. Seriously, that's an all-star team handling things up there. We, on the other hand, are going to have a heck of a way down, aren't we? Yes, from the 35th floor to B8. What do you know? SSS is taking on Crossbell's underbelly for real now. Yep. A lot of crazy stuff. Time is of the essence. We're going on ahead. Don't fall behind. Ah! Are these two serious? They even human? They're right. We have to hurry. Yeah. Alright. Let me with Tio super quickly, while I have this opportunity. I'm gonna use a breath. And let me save the game. And let's keep it going. I wonder, if they're doing anything in particular down here. I'm really wondering how things are gonna pan out. This is not what I was expecting. Am I the only one a bit overwhelmed? What exactly is this place? I believe it is the main shaft of the Orcus Tower. This is where the weight of the tower is distributed to better support it. I'd heard there was something like this inside the tower, but I never expected it to be so grand. Yeah. It's impressive, but we gotta get moving. Exactly. Let's keep on going south. South, huh? What about over here? Okay, we can't go there. Alright. Let's go on over here. I hope there's enemies. Damn it, this must be the spot. Right. This is as far as the deal went. Dudley, Arios, is something the matter? We have a problem. Those two terrorist groups ended their alliance here. Then that would mean... You're saying that the group tried to off the Chancellor and the ones that was out for the President went in different directions? There's no doubt in my mind. The Calvardian terrorists went to the Geofront C sector. The ones from Erebonia have escaped to the D sector. How can you possibly tell? I get it. It's the footprints, isn't it? Exactly. They were in way too much of a hurry to hide their tracks. In that case, we should split into two groups. If we don't hurry, one or both of them could manage to escape. I agree. That's the best course of action. McLean and I will follow the Calvardians into the C sector. Estes, you follow the Erebonian terrorists into the D sector. Wait, why divide our numbers so unevenly? Can the two of you really handle them by yourselves? The C sector is home to a heat treatment plant. It's a difficult sector to navigate if you've never been there before. Conversely, the D sector is larger with more open spaces. There'll be strength in numbers there. It works out perfectly then. We're running out of time, Lloyd. I say we go with that plan. Fine then. Dudley, Arios, be careful in there. Same to you. Our suspects are wanted terrorists that are willing to give their lives for their cause. Do not let your guards down. Right. Roger. Alright. Okay, team. Let's move out too. Our mission is to catch the terrorists before they can escape from the Geofront. Of course. They've got another thing coming if they think they're getting away. Alright. I'm really curious about how this is going to pan out. Here's a charging station. Let's use it. And let me take one last bite of my snack. Alright. Is this an underground parking lot? Yes. It was designed with the expectation that, in the future, cars will become more common in Crossbell. That part I get. But ain't it still a little too big? Just how many people do they think are going to be driving our cars someday? Bright-eyed DIA members and government officials likely planned it thinking about Crossbell's prosperous future. Too bright. Yeah, that sounds more likely. I can't deny that it's a real possibility, but since Speaker Hartman's fall from grace, construction has been halted. I'm not surprised. We clearly have a lot of ground to cover. Pursuing them in here won't be easy.
Access.
Human signatures detected. A group of 8 is on the move nearby. Really? Hey, maybe it won't be so hard after all. Let's hurry. That's locked, okay. There! Everyone look! Gah! This is bad. What the? Who the hell are they? Pursuers? Tch, how do they follow us? Damn it! Ugh, not so fast. Whoa! They're armed! Let's go, Noel! Crap! Move! We can't afford to stop! Damn brats! Ignore them! Let's go! Ah, they escaped. Heh, the ladies of the SSS sure aren't afraid to take action, are they? Forget about that. We have to pursue them. There's probably a way down to where they just went. No way in hell we're gonna let them get away now. I like the sound of that. And there's archaisms. Great, I love it. Get some XP and get our S-crafts and everything. All that good stuff. And Tio leveled up. Meanwhile, everyone else is getting close to getting to level 65, so she's a little behind. We got some shoes. White canvas. Who needs the defense? Ellie. Oh, she's gaining arts defense. Who needs the arts defense, actually? It'd be Randy, of course. Yeah, Randy. Oh, it's for females only. Okay. Yeah, give it to Ellie. Still. 'Tis I, the box of Iron Chancellor. How long do you think Chessbell can hold out? Alright. Yes, team rush. Get them all in one, please. Yes. That's good XP. Really good XP. When you get a team rush on the first turn, the first action, and kill them all, that's so much XP. Okay, that goes down. Let's go over here and see what's over here. A chest, perfect. EP charge 2. Hello, lads. I'm President Locksmith, and it's a pleasure to meet you. I'd like to award you medals for opening all of my friends earlier this year during the boat incident. So we got President Rocksmith or Chessmith. Up the box of Iron Chancellor. And then we got the other one I just forgot already. Alright, Lloyd and Randy both leveled up. That's good. That's exactly what I wanted to battle. Get stronger and all this good stuff before anything crazy happens. And get those S-crafts up and ready. So Ellie, Wazzy, and Noelle all leveled up. There's a path here with a chest. 60 of every single sepith. I guess chests weren't important enough to invite to the trade conference, huh, Dieter? Fine. We'll be holding our own Chest of Moria trade conference. Alright, got this one. Okay. Nothing in this room. Wait. There you go. Monster egg. There we go. Oh yeah, I should be bursting to get that extra XP bonus. Got him. Oh my god, I accidentally did S-craft when I meant to do oops. I meant to do burst. Oh my gosh. Ignore that. There you go. I hope there's enough fights to regain what I just used up on accident. Get that one. Thank you. And there we go. Okay, we're at the bottom, but Yeah, they ran up to the top, so there should not be the way to go. Surprised this guy didn't see me. And Teal leveled up and learned Mega Zero Cannon. Awesome. Is that her S-Craft or is that a skill? It's actually a support skill. She has a 100% chance to freeze as one of her supports. Wow. So Zero Cannon gets a nerf, but she gets a guaranteed freeze on one of her supports. She lost the guaranteed freeze on her a regular craft, but she gained it through a support. Celestial Bomb. How often do you think Ramiferian General's goods stores get phone calls asking if they have Prince Albert in a can? I don't understand what reference that's supposed to be, but yeah. Oh my gosh. But burst is a thing. Okay. Now we can go up and to where they went over here. I thought I saw a chest there, but it was just that sign. That barricade, I mean. There's a chest here though. Severe Noodles. Day 394. It was another cold Tuesday morning when I suddenly realized I was still a treasure chest. And a red chest here with a combat suit. This is for this is for defense. Randy, here you go. Combat suit, and it's for the men, so it works out. It also raises strength by a tiny bit, so that doesn't really matter though. I'm really glad Princess Claudia got to speak with Lecter again. Maybe now she can finally have some closure. Here's a lift. Oh, this is not even a lift. This is some little kind of platform. Okay. I love Theo's new voice lines. He was already super cute, but it just made her even more cuter. Because they gave her, the new voice lines gave her like this, like, more higher pitch kind of voice, and I kind of like it. Savory Pinion. It kind of makes her more cutish sounding. And this chest is a Tyrol bomb. You're chesting my patience. This might be the end. Oh! What was that? Was that an orbital bomb going off? It was just up ahead. Hurry! There's a whole train there. Well, where it looks like a train could be on. Is this supposed to be an underground freight line? It is. That's right. It was used to transport building materials and goods straight to Orcus Tower. Everyone look! Oh, they blew that bridge up, okay. The explosion we heard. Tch, they're trying to shake our tail. We can't let them escape. Search for another route. Alright, we'll go the long way then. The long way's giving us more enemies to fight. They're just helping us out if you really think about it. This is getting me stronger. Got him. Nice. That helped me save 1 bar at least. That might be the way to go, especially since it was below us. I'm gonna say yes, that's the way to go. But we're gonna go on this side first. key. Yep, I was right. And oh, this is a monster chest. Okay, I couldn't tell. Have a Lloyd and Tio S-Craft go off. Yeah, right here is perfect. We leave the little ones. Omega Strike. We got a bunch of the little ones, and we leave the bigger ones at a decent amount of HP. Oh, that one put you to sleep. Oh gosh. They can blow themselves up? Okay. And we got Shield Breaker for this. Shield Breaker does what exactly? 15% chance to lower the enemy defense by 25%. That's actually really good. That's actually way better than all the other kinds of like things we could do to them. Well, maybe not Petrify and stuff like that, but yeah, you know. It's a more easier chance to get because sometimes a lot of enemies resist a lot of different things, so but a lot of them don't really resist stats down much, really just the bosses to a degree. So what does it, is it just Earth that gives? Or Earth, yeah. Well, that gives Fortuna. I don't want her to lose Fortuna. Or she already lost it. It was Fortuna, right? The Earth Feel? Earth Pulse. Oh, she still has it. In that case, I'll remove this for Shield Breaker. Okay. I'm not really gonna use them, but it's nice to have them and have it in the back, you know, for whenever ambushes happen or whenever they use supports. Maybe some of them can trigger. Who knows? The chest is empty, and this napalm. I don't get that joke. The train went by. Just in case they're back here. I don't think so. There'll probably be a charging station when we get there. But let's heal. Oh my gosh. As soon as I struck, it turned around. And I thought I got him. Okay. Look! Oh, they blew up another bridge. Oh, no. We just went around. Dang. Thick, we made a full circle. They must think that they managed to shake us. Most likely. Now's our chance to catch up. Let's get that, let's get those S-Crafts up. Not all of us are at 200. And we're close to leveling. Hopefully we can get that level squeezed in. We'll have to see. Nope, we're not gonna get that level squeezed in. There's a charging station here, which means we should save and get ready. There they are! We managed to catch up with them. Damn it all! They must have defused the bombs atop the tower. Those bastards. This was our chance to kill that tyrant Blood and Iron Chancellor. We even stooped to cooperating with those Calvardians. Do not waver, comrades. We still have the necessary allies. With Duke Cayen's backing, we cannot be stopped. Once we escape here, another opportunity will present itself, my comrades. We will have our... Freeze! What? Those brats from earlier? How the hell? We destroyed the way we came in from. Yeah, and we took a different route. Amazing, right? This is why you do not neglect your homework. Shut up, you goddamn brats. Just who the hell are you? Crossbell Police Department, Special Support Section. You're under arrest on charges of terrorism, sabotage, attempted assassination of dignitaries, and attempted mass murder, just to name a few. You're the police? As if some worthless cop from a puny state like this could stop our cause. Shut your mouths. You have any idea how many innocent lives you could have taken today? I'll never let you walk away from here. So you're that kind of terrorist. Delusional. You think you can do whatever you want in the eyes of the goddess because you've told yourself you're fighting for a just cause. Silence! You Crossbellans have no right to look down on us. Your state has tossed us aside, its pride, and hoarded itself out for prosperity. Reasoning with them is useless. They have no remorse. Don't misunderstand. It's not our intention to disrupt the lives of others for the sake of our cause. However, should that dictator be allowed to continue leading our empire down the path of tyranny, there's no telling how many will suffer. For that reason, we will show no quarter to anyone who stands in the way of us taking the Chancellor's head. Don't bother trying to get through to them. Time to kick some asses and sort them out later. Well, we got that burst ready on the ready for us. So, if I do something like this, okay, you know, miss, that's exactly what I wanted to show off. Rising Sun. And then, oh, that doesn't, because we missed, it didn't count as a hit. Dang, that, oh god, that sucks. Lloyd, you really screwed up my entire plan. Lloyd really screwed up my entire plan. I'll just do this in this direction. They're gonna move around a bit, but I think I can get at least 2 or 3. Rambo charge. Strength up to all of them, okay. They're doing good damage, but that's okay. Spark Dine. I'm gonna go hit, like, the one that's dazed. Yeah, that one. And then I'm gonna do this. But I want to hit the one on the side. Okay, they're all getting knocked out. Just 2 left. This is a bit too easy, so I'm not going to go ahead and use my burst. Because I think there has to be something else after this. Nice delay. I can do a nice heal. Just small, weak little arts are good enough, but it doesn't even matter. And Noelle, and Lloyd, and Ellie, Randy, and Wazzy, everyone but Tio, got their levels raised. And Noelle's Blast Storm has become Blast Storm 2. So her S-Craft got a buff. No! Can't be! They're just police officers from a pissin' autonomous state of all things. I'll give you that the prosperity of Crossbell has enjoyed for I'll give you that the prosperity Crossbell has enjoyed for decades has come at a cost. But don't dare think for a second that Crossbellans have lost sight of their pride. Our situation is far from ideal. We struggle against those pressures every day of our lives. Even still, we know Crossbell will get over those barriers. Lloyd, Well said, Lloyd. So it seems, perhaps I was out of line to underestimate you. I can see that trying to destroy the tower was going too far. Does that mean you surrender? No, you cannot fall here. Not while the Blood and Iron Chancellor yet breathes. Look out! Everyone back up! Oh my god, did they bring a tank in here? No! Smart missiles? They did. But it's CGF though. Oh, but it's aimed at us. No! One of the CGF's armored cars! You bastards! How the hell did you get your hands on that? Wouldn't you like to know? We have more friends in high places than you can imagine. Feel free to struggle against that all you want. We've wasted enough time here. Withdraw! And their charism's great. Is everyone alright? Yes, surprisingly. I can fight. I think it's time to decommission one of the CGF's cars. Sorry, Noel. Never mind that. We're dealing with one of the top forces of... Oh my god, we're dealing with one of the force's top-of-the-line models. Be mindful of its arch-resistance shielding. Okay, art-resistance shielding. Keep your feet moving and look for any openings. Go! You got to keep the burst for a good reason. I didn't even get burst there. I don't think we get burst at all. Oh yeah, burst only comes when all of us are in a line. I forgot about that. We gotta get rid of these guys first. Blue drop is their weakness, so blue drop. And then a blue drop here. Nice. Very nice. Let's go in. Now we got the burst. And I get to do it now. Perfect. They said arch resistance shielding, so I don't think... Okay, debuffs still work. That's good, that's good. Remember to use S-crafts after the burst, so that way the turn of the burst doesn't get used for something as useless as a turn for, you know what I mean. It pretty much uses a turn for the burst, so I don't want to do that. And I want to attack. We still get all of our, turns even after the burst, so. Does she have any debuffs? Arch defense down, which is not what I need right now. Let me analyze. Anti-arch armor. Okay. Only arch attack down. Okay. I get a crit. I'm gonna use this. I mean, I already used the turn for the crit, but I'm gonna use the S-craft. What I'm gonna do here is... Yeah, I should encourage. And then I'm gonna hit, and then S-craft. I could have just went straight into an S-craft. That would have been better, actually. And here is where I will... I don't have any debuffs. If it's arch resistant, what about debuffs? Is it only arch attacks? Well, I guess can't hurt to try. But at the same time, the only one that she has is speed down 25%, so it's not really gonna help. Ooh, look at that! Ooh, now's our chance. Do you have any debuffs? Arch defense and yeah, it's not gonna help. Get that burst. And more. Ooh, I like this. Should I? Yeah, sure. I don't get to use burst though. Oh, actually, that's not true. I thought. I still gotta study burst. It's only my second time seeing the burst, anyways. We can just straight up melee this thing to death right here. Nice. I thought this was gonna be a lot harder because of the anti-arts, but it's okay. We got it. And Teal's gonna level up. There she goes. And we got a speed breaker quartz from this as well, so that's pretty good. We did it! Quick, open the doors and pull out whoever's inside before they... No need. There are no vital reactions. There never were any. It was fully automated, I'm sorry. Wait, what? Are you freaking kidding me? The terrorists brought archaisms with them too. They weren't exaggerating about having friends in high places, just like the prince said. There's no time to worry about that. We have to resume the pursuit or else they... Uh-oh. Gunfire? But why? Who could they be? Come on, we gotta go. Uh-oh. Am I able to get the charging station? Yes. Alright, let's save before crazy stuff happens. No! Damn it! Oh, the two factions are fighting each other. Oh, it's frickin' Shirley and the guy, I forgot his name. Ugh. The Red Constellation. Why would you... It's business. Just fulfilling our contract. We already sent your pals to destroy the anti-aircraft radars to Adios, too. Feel free to join them in her arms. How regrettable. Shirley, kill the one that's hiding back there. Ooh, can I? Ah! What's the matter? Don't worry. I'll give you a fair chance. Just you and me. One-on-one. Those guns do not go far, huh? They only go to the floor. It's like they drop. Like they come out the gun and then they just drop. You lose. Thanks for playing. Stop! Hey, no fun. I was getting to the best part. The young master. Took you long enough. Uncle. Shirley. What the hell are all of you doing here? We're too late. They're already gone. What have you done? How could you do this to them? Weren't you listening? It's business. We killed the terrorists that were here to assassinate Imperial Chancellor and the Empire's eldest prince. Because that's what the Imperial government hired us to do. You can't be serious. As serious as a heart attack. Want to see our contract with the Imperial government? It's got a stamp on it and everything. You know what that means, don't you? You can't touch us. No way. Are you saying they... Crossbell State Law Article 19, Paragraph 3. At all times, the Crossbell government recognizes and gives way to the executive authority of the Imperial and Republican governments. That's right. In other words, we were acting as proxies for the Imperial government. Official executioners with diplomatic immunity, I might add. You plotted this from the very beginning. Uncle! Why did you kill them? Why did you have to kill them? They were no threat to you. You could have easily disarmed them, couldn't you? Then why did you... God. No! Randy! Randy! Are you okay, Randy? What part of contracted executioners don't you get? You should know exactly what that means firsthand. If you want to blame someone, look in the mirror. Had you done your job then caught them first, you wouldn't have had to step in. I don't think the Blood and Iron Chancellor minds your failure, though. He might just send a fruit basket for the favor you did him. Because of us, now the Imperial government can... Rough day, huh? I guess we can show some good faith and let this last little rat go. Surely, release him. Aw, man. Oh, whatever. It's no fun when the weak ones give up so easily. Catch! And you guys make sure not to run away, okay? Grr. We're done here. Let's pull out. Check's already in the mail, so let's have some fun tonight, boys. Ja! Later, guys. Excuse us, young masters. See you around, Captain Randolph. They said Ja. So that means Wazi's related to these people. Don't screw with me. I'm not like you. God damn it! And this is where Hey You went. Damn Hey You pest. Why the hell are they helping them? Cow, Lee, and those are wanted men. I don't care what authorization Republican government has given you. You've no right to take them into custody. Authorization or not, I can't just ignore orders given to me by Heiyu's elders. If that isn't a good enough answer for you, we take no issue with applying a little bit of force. I'm interested to seeing who would win in a match between the Divine Blade of Wind and my friend over here. Eastern Quarter's legendary Xiong Shu. It's nice to finally meet you, Yin. I understand you excel in regular combat, too. I would say we're at a disadvantage. Rest assured, our terrorist friend here are in good hands. The worst that will happen to them is that they'll be made into examples to deter other radical Calvardian nationalists. Don't screw with us. Because of you Easterners, our Calvard is... Buh! President Rocksmith is even craftier than I had thought. Isn't he? I find him to be a rather relatable leader. Please direct any and all objections you may have to the President's office. Let us take our leave. Yes! The same day, 6 p.m. I see. Understood. Everyone here is safe and sound. There's no need to worry. What's the status of the terrorists? The Calvardian terrorists were apprehended by employees of Heyu Trading. It would appear that the Republican government gave them authorization to do so. What? Oh, splendid. They're friends of ours. Rest assured that we can vouch for them. As for the Erebonian terrorists, I was told that the Red Constellation executed them on orders of the Imperial government. You can't be serious. Chancellor, what is the meaning of this? Am I to understand the Imperial government hired Jaegers on foreign soil for the purpose of carrying out an execution? Yes, it's exactly what it sounds like. Surely you know that there is no punishment more fitting than swift death for daring to take aim at your life, Your Highness. It will serve as a suitable deterrent for any fools that were left behind after today. Got him again. As troubling as this is, they were acting within state law by doing this. That may be, but it is far too great. This is far too great a breach of trust. Oh, you misunderstand, Speaker. More importantly, isn't today's incident indicative of what the Chancellor and I were saying? Surely you see now that Crossbell's state government is incapable of managing a crisis such as this by itself. Not only did the terrorists successfully infiltrate the venue of the trade conference, you failed to stop them. If not for our planning, they would have evaded capture. You could say that it's proof that the measure we proposed would work in practice. That's right. I know the timing of this may be brash, but consider everyone whose life was put in danger today. What timing what better time than now to seriously consider a proposal of stationing troops in Crossbell? You two cannot be serious. This is borderline coercion. Then this is why you didn't... So this is what you were aiming for. A plan this low is despicable, even for you. If I could have your attention, everyone. We still have not concluded discussing the final matter on the agenda. I believe the Chancellor and the President proposal is worth consideration. However, I would like to first finish the statement I was going to make before we were interrupted by the attack. Cider? Oh? What sort of proposal did you have in mind? Actually, this proposal is less like our others and more of a declaration of intent. I'd been somewhat hesitant about this idea, but after what just happened, I believe my resolve has been affirmed. So please allow me to take this opportunity to advocate for one final proposal. What? We can no longer be swayed by the whims and desires of other countries. For the sake of lasting peace in the region, no, throughout the entire continent. I hereby propose to the citizens of all nations that Crossbell be recognized as an independent state. What that does, by the way, is now the Empire and the Republicans are not allowed to just boss us around. We're not under their control. Afterward. Junction area. Oh? Look who it is. Funny meeting you guys here. The Red Constellation. Would that be the Red Ogre and his daughter? We're at the ready, Commander Sigmund. Relax, boys. Neither one of us is in a position to do anything until we've taken care of our client's terms. It would be unprofessional to jump the gun for a little fun, wouldn't it? Not my words, but I agree. This reminds me, I'd like to congratulate you on the successful reopening of New Blanc. My apologies for not having welcomed you to the neighborhood already. Don't mention it. I'm sorry we haven't been kept in touch either. We're old pals, aren't we? Pardon our rudeness for not knocking on your door when we arrived. So, speaking of reminders, how are your buddies that managed to survive back in the Eastern Quarter? Are they doing well? Quite alright. Thank you very much. Sorry to disappoint you. Though if it makes you feel any better, I've heard the elders still have nightmares. I'd hope so. We assaulted their little council and took them hostage. You'd have not fared so well had I not been absent on another mission. Wait, are you Yin? That legendary Xiong whatever? The strongest warrior from the Eastern Quarter? And I presume you must be Bloody Shirley. You're one of the strongest Jaeger battalion commanders on the continent, despite being just 16 years old. I guess so. Honestly, I'd much prefer to be doing my hunting solo. Enough about me. What about you? What's with the getup? Wouldn't you be much stronger without that silly little disguise? Excuse me? You're wasting energy keeping it up, aren't you? Your muscles would be a lot stronger if they could move freely, right? Holding back like this is such a waste. Well, well. It does a papa proud to know she's got a good eye for these things. Sorry if she's hit a sore spot. Shirley can get like this even when she sees something she wants. Don't mention it. Cal, if we're done here, I'd suggest we go on ahead. Very well. Sorry to keep you. Until we meet again. Yeah, see you around. Bye-bye now. By the way, for those that did not catch that, when she meant muscles to freely go around, she was implying to her boobs. Yeah, because it's that's Risha, as we know. Yin is Risha. So when she's saying that, you'll be able to move freely, obviously, you know what they means. So, anyways, that's the end of chapter 2. And that is the start of chapter 3. But I'm gonna end it here. But first, we got the reward. So we got 7 DP from this. We got 95 overall DP, and we got promoted to 10th class senior detective. True gladiator headband equipment. So that's gonna go on Lloyd. And then we got another 5 DP, 100 total overall DP. And then that is the end of chapter 2, and like I said just now, the end of our stream as well. I have some things I got to take care of. It's going to be a very busy week for me, especially on Sunday where I will not be able to stream whatsoever on Sunday. Guaranteed, I can at least affirm that because unfortunately, my job wants me to stay for a very, very long period of time on that day. And it has later times than normal, so I'm sorry about that, guys. I don't like it either, but that's kind of what I had to do. But anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and if you guys have, you guys can follow me on my social medias. Both you guys can follow me here on this Twitch. You guys can follow me on my Twitter and subscribe to my YouTube. So any one of those any one of those help at all. It doesn't matter if it's just one or two, it helps. Even if you're doing other things, like maybe you're not subscribing on YouTube, but you're liking a video or doing a comment. All that stuff really, really helps. Because I do read all of it. Um and I really welcome any bit of interaction that I can get. But anyways, guys, let me see before I send you guys off. I'm gonna go ahead and see if there is any one to send you guys off to so I can raid someone if anyone is on. Um, do 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 do. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and raid RPG Fancom. They're playing, from what it looks like from the title, it looks like they're playing Triangle Strategy. So if you guys want to see more JRPG action and you're really still craving more more of it, well, good news. Like I always do. I'm gonna send you guys off to more JRPG streamers. RPG Fancom is on right now. He's playing Triangle Strategy right now. Great people. Scott's a great guy. So I'm gonna send you off to Scott from RPG Fancom, and like I said, I hope you guys really enjoyed this, and I will see you on the next one. So take care, guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.